This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, I turned on the recording now. So very warm welcome to all of you for the online embedded systems um, induction program today. Today is 25th January, and this is being a evening batch where you guys will be taking the class from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Along with the apart from the lab session, we'll get into the details shortly. So let me put in the presentation mode. And I always tell in all our sessions, webinars, and even induction sessions, whenever you find any questions, you can feel free to type in, and then I will, I'll pass it at logical intervals to take your questions. But you don't need to wait. As and when there are questions coming in your mind, you can type it. No question is wrong question. No question is a silly question. Every question we need to answer with respect to the merit of it. We'll ensure that everything is answered. And typically, I see the sessions. We planned for 2 hours, but it might go more. People who attended the webinar, we planned, and then it got stretched beyond 9 p.m. So, in case it happens today, most likely it will. Given the set of participants we have 60 plus people in the call. I request you to stay till the end and get the maximum takeaway from the session. Okay. So, with that, let me move on to the next slide. So, let me give an introduction about Emergy. As you all know, Emergy is a skill building organization. We started in the year 2003. We are based out of Bangalore. Our aim was initially to focus on two areas. One was we saw around 18 years back itself that there is a huge gap between the number of graduates that are graduating from the college and also the skill set that they have. So we started off with our training program in embedded systems, which we continue to do as of today, even as of today. And in the meantime, we also moved on to building certain products in the areas like industrial IoT, agriculture IoT, some of the retrofitting devices, etc. So that's what we did as a parallel along with education. Robin, you may want to go offline in the video. Yeah, thanks, Robin. So along with the education offering, we also did the project development or product development activities for over the past in the 18 years. We did that for quite some number of years. But later we found that we are getting too defocused into many things. So that's when we decided to completely focus our area into education. And thanks to the education situation in India, it is continued to grow. The demand for embedded engineers is continuing to grow. We'll talk about it. And also, we are positioned in the right place where we are sitting in between the engineering colleges and the companies that are hiring from us. Right? And we all came from embedded background. I'll talk about my background also shortly. And this is our passion to impart skill in budding engineers to make them employable. And what we have seen over the years, when we employ them, when we make one particular person in the family employable, we make a positive impact in their immediate family. Not only that, as a broader technical community, we make India and our overall society as a much more technology-aware country. And another important point is about our association with NSDC or Skill India, where this particular course which you are signed up for is affiliated with Skill India. So by the end of this particular program, you will apply for a certification with Skill India, and you can get certified. I'll show you a sample certificate also during the presentation. So this is a brief about the company. And before we move on, just a brief about myself. My name is Jai Kumar. I grew up in Tamil Nadu till the age of my 17. Till my schooling I did there. Then after my schooling, I went to Warangal, where I did my BTech in computer science from REC Warangal. It was then called Regional Engineering College. Later it became NIT. After completing my engineering, I came to Bangalore. Worked with three different corporate companies. Started my career with a company called Ishoni Networks, which was a startup making the broadband gateways. So we are building high-speed internet devices, which has become order of the day today. But by then it was all dial-up connection. So we are working on broadband technologies to increase the speed of internet. Right. So I was there for about 2 years, working on. Started off as a test engineer, working in the test automation framework, developed certain bridge and routing features of their products. I was there as a part of the team for about 2 years. So then I moved to HP, Hewlett Packard, where I spent 7.5 years, primarily working in their printer firmware group. Since I came from my networking connectivity background in my first company, I continued in that area. So I was part of HP's inkjet firmware division, where I was part of a team which was involved in developing various connectivity firmware or the embedded software. As you know, any printer will have multiple I/O devices, including Bluetooth, USB. Then we have network, Wi-Fi, etc. So I was part of the team building various layers of connectivity, which includes device drivers, middleware, and then the application related areas. And I played various roles in HP. I joined as a entry level engineer, then I worked as a senior engineer, lead engineer. Then I became a program and project manager in HP, primarily driving the cloud print initiative, where we're connecting the printer directly to the internet. That was the initial days of cloud computing, you say, right? But today everything is cloud. Our email is in cloud. Our what do you call our personal data we are storing in cloud. But and that those days the cloud computing was just taking off. So where our aspiration was to connect the printer directly to the internet. So that was the last assignment with HP in a duration of 7.5 years. So after HP, I went into Huawei. Huawei, as you all know, it is a Chinese telecommunication company. Their core portfolio then was in the networking and telecommunication domain. And during those days, there was an initiative going across Huawei where they wanted to unify all the product lines in Linux. Right? In embedded system, there are different operating systems are there. There are many proprietary operating systems or real-time operating systems like VxWorks. But Linux offers a lot of benefits, being free and being open source, and it is very secure, etc. So I was part of a team which was customizing Linux for various Huawei's products. As you all know, Huawei makes right from a small dongle which you use to put your SIM and connect the internet to all the way up to complex telecommunication switches and routers. Okay, so that was part of. I was a senior manager in Huawei. I was leading a team of about 60 people, consisting of development engineers, senior engineers, test engineers, project managers, more of a second line management where project managers were reporting into me. So I was there for about 3.5 years. So 2 years in my initial company, and then 7.5 years in HP, and then 3.5 years in Huawei. Roughly about 12.5 years I spent in these three corporate organizations. Then my motivation was always to do and work in the area of skill building. That's when Emergy has happened. Emergy was started by my friend. His name is Mr. Mas. He's the MD and founder of the organization. And then I joined Emergy full time from 2014. I completed 8 years in Emergy. I'm part of the core leadership team, as I mentioned. So over the past 8 years, I played different roles in Emergy. Of course, started off as a technical side, worked as a mentor, teaching students. I used to teach Linux systems, Linux internals, classes and labs when I started off. Then later I started handling placements. Then over the period of time, I became more placement and business side of the responsibility than the technical side of responsibilities. In the meantime, we also grew our mentoring team quite big. We have about a 40-member mentor team in our Emergy, and all 40 of them are full-time, and they will be interacting with you on in various modules and various other initiatives like your Disha workshop, etc. So technical team grew, and which is now headed by my colleague Mr. Mubin, who will also be interacting with you as you move forward. So I mainly handle the placements, talking with the companies, and some other responsibilities on the business side. So that's my summary of we can say 20 years it's been since I finished my engineering, and it's always a pleasure to host the introductory or the induction classes. We used to do it physically, and the beauty of pandemic, on a positive note, that it has made the online learning as an accepted phenomenon, where you're all sitting. I saw people. That's the first question I asked: where are you joining this call from? We saw people joining from various parts of country, our country, right? And sometimes we do have some international students also joining this course, right? So it's always a pleasure to meet all of you and share all my perspectives and share all the information about course placement, etc. Okay, so I would like to pause here, and then I want to take a brief introduction of yourself. just type in the window. No need to use your audio or video. As I said, that will only disturb the session. You'll not be able to hear us clearly. Anyways, I'm reading out whatever you are typing. Anyways, we are able to see also each other. Unlike the webinar, the GoToMeeting, you can see what each other are typing. It's just like a chat window. So tell me about yourself. Tell me about your college, which year of pass out you had, and in case you are from a 2021 is the latest batch, right? In case if you passed out before, if you have some work experience, you can talk about it as well. Okay. So please go one by one. Yeah, I'm seeing Bhargav and then Vinay. Go ahead, type a little bit more, guys, so that we can get to know each other. This I do because of two reasons. One is from my side, it helps me to understand the type of people and the profile of each one of you joining this course. One. Second important thing which I find is like you guys get to know each other, right? You will be part of the same batch, and who knows, right? Good amount of them will be colleagues. You will maybe joining the same company, which happens in good number of our batches, right? So let us see. We have Robin Singh. He's from Varanasi. He's from 2022 batch, MIMIT Punjab. Very good. So Robin, that means to say you're still in your final year. You will be graduating from June, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, Ashish is from Udaipur, Rajasthan. Okay, good, Robin. Good to know. I'm very happy that somebody in the college itself joining, because you will be utilizing a final semester to the best of the use, so that by the time you finish, by the time your batchmates will be searching how to do the course. I'm not having enough skills, etc. You'll be far ahead of the competition. In fact, a few years back, I had a student. Her name is Suhani. I think you can look up for a video in YouTube. She also came from Punjab. She utilized the same way how you are come and joined in the final semester, and she was able to get into a core job much faster, much before than her batchmates. So that's good to know, Robin. Somebody has taken that initiative. Then we have, let me just go down. And Ashish is there. Ashish from Udaipur. Very good, very good. I think it's a city of forts. Love to travel sometime to Rajasthan. I think Katrina Kaif are getting married in your place. I guess all the cinema stars. Maybe once Ashish gets a job, he will take us to the Udaipur Palace and host us a big party. Jokes apart, good to know Ashish joining you from Rajasthan. Then we have Jyotika from Bangalore 2020 from ECE background. So may I know, Jyotika, what you've been doing from ever since you completed your engineering? I would like to know as well. And we have Siddhant. He's passed out MTech in 2016 and 4.5 years of experience. I may know which domain your experience is, Siddhant? Were you in the software side, or were you in some different roles like business, marketing, or anything like that? Then we have Dimple from 2021 ECE from SVEW College. Okay, good to know. Then we have Argya Burman. Same, I think looks like Argya and Robin are classmates, if I'm not wrong. Both of them are 2022 batch joining our session. Okay, just confirm me. I'm just reading the messages. Then we have Manjunatha. Manjunatha says he's from Bangalore 2020 VKIT College. Good to know, Manjunath. I would like to know what you've been doing from 2020. Then we have Muhammad Johar from Bidar, Karnataka, 2021, from Guru Nanak Dev Engineering College. Good to know, Johar, Muhammad Johar. Then we have Vikas Gaurav, 2021, passed out from NMA MIT NITE. Okay, I guess that's based out of Mangalore. They also have some branches in Bangalore, I guess, if I'm not wrong. Good to know, Vikas. Then we have Abhilash from Kerala, currently doing MTech, graduating this July. Very good. Similar to what we saw, a couple of the folks who are doing the BTech join this course. We have Abhilash. He's also utilizing his final year and joining this course. Very happy to see such things. Then we have Sahiti from 2021, passed out from JNTU, HECEJ. I don't know what like HECEJ means. JNTU, I know what I don't know what it is. I finished my bachelor's in Tripoli. Good to know, Sahiti. If I'm not wrong, did you reach out to me, Sahiti, in LinkedIn? I saw quite a lot of messages are unanswered from my side. I've been running around. I just remember your name is just flashing my mind. Just confirm me. Glad to see you. Then Uday is BTech graduate from Andhra University 2018, and And then 2018 he was working as a process maintenance engineer in Dr. Reddy's laboratories located in Vizag. Okay, so good to know, right? Then we have Nandita, 2015 MTech pass out. Now working as a teacher, want to work in embedded field. Very good, Nandita. Are you working as a lecturer in the college, engineering college? Then we have Pallavi, 2020 pass out from ECE, working in Bangalore. I'm working as a professional partner for Cisco. Okay, great. So I think more on the solution side you are working. Then Jayashree, she's from 2012 pass out. Okay, worked for 2 years. You've been taking break, Jayashree, from then because 2020, 22 means it's like almost like 10 years, right? Yeah, I would like to know more about that. And then we have Gaurish, he's bachelor from LTCE Mumbai, 2020 pass out. Currently pursuing MTech from BJTA Mumbai. Okay, good. Similar to others, you're also utilizing your final semester. Then we have Pratisha, completed B in 2017. Currently in final year of MTech, RGPV. I think that's Rajiv Gandhi Pratiyogita something. I remember some of our old students used to tell me the name. Completing in this June. Very good. Then we have Acula, 2019 pass out BTech Triple E, working as Polytechnic lecturer now. Okay, we have teachers joining. Okay. Then we have Prathamesh, 2021 pass out. Good to know. Then Shashank is from ME in Power Electronics from MSU Baroda, Gujarat, 2019 qualified GATE. Good to know. Then we have Kondal Reddy from Telangana, 2021 pass out from Christu Jyoti College, Warangal. Oh, good, Warangal, my place where I got my education. Then we have Rubin Matthew. He's from Kerala, did my graduation mechanical engineering in 2019. At present, doing my second year in tech. I'm very glad to see many of you are doing your course final year itself. You're joining. Very, very good to see. Very good sign. Very encouraging sign. Then we have Hari Narayanan, and then he's a final year student in BTech Triple E from Trichy. Very good. Then we have Ashwini, 2019, doing MTech in ECS. She's selling. Good to know, Ashwini. Then Deepak is from 2018, MBIT, currently working as an electrical engineer at IT building. Okay, good. Then Siddharth says diagnostic. I don't know what you mean by that. Then you have Arjun Anu, 2017. So never got to work in core field, worked at L&T Financial Services. Wow, they went into totally a non-technical area, and then you want to get back to the technical domain. Good to see that. Then Robin Singh says yes, good to know. Then Saurabh from 2020 pass out, worked as a robotics engineer, Bharat drone system from March 2020. Now quit the job and joining Mercy. Okay, so that means you have some embedded experience building robots. Then Munjaji Kanade from Pune, 2019, working in Jabil Pune's electronics technology. Okay, good to know. Generally, Pune is another electronics hub in India. Then we have Fabia, 2016, MTech pass out, worked in Novatech Robo Private Limited to 2019. Okay, good to know that. Then Argya says, yes, you are batchmates. Okay, good to see that, 2022 from the same college. Then we have Bhuvanesh from Coimbatore, 2016 pass out, working as a service engineer at Retail India Private Limited. Okay, good to know that. Then we have Vinayaka Hegde. He's from Bangalore, EC 2020 pass out, working as application engineer, hardware design. Good to know, Vinayaka. Then we have Sohan, pursuing BTech in Electronics and Communication Engineering at Reva University, 2020. Cool, another 2020 batch. So Munir here from Kerala, working in Bangalore. 2018, MTech from BIT, working in embedded domain, have experience of 3 years and 7 months. I'm looking forward to join an MNC doing this course. Okay, I think Munir, we also did exchange few messages in LinkedIn. Hope I'm referring to the right person, because a lot of people reach out to me, and I'm also finding it little hard to catch up all the messages. So we have Pallavi from RBC 2021 pass out, currently working as a trainee engineer. Great. Then we have Aniket Paunikar, 2018 from Anjuman College of Engineering, Nagpur. Along with I'm preparing for GATE exam. Okay, good to know. Then another Vinay Deshpande, final year of medical electronics at Dr. Ambedkar Institute of Technology, Bangalore. Very good. Then we have Sivadasan, 2019 pass out, working in Kerala State Electricity Board as an electrical operator for the last 2 years. Good, Shivadasan. Then Tarun, 2021 ECE from MIT Mysore. Krishna, 2018 Triple E pass out, working as a data analyst in NVIDIA graphics. Okay, good to know, interesting. Because NVIDIA over the years, I guess they transitioned from a graphics card company to a modern day machine learning company. If you look at the product lines, what they used to make 15 years back and what they're doing now, you can't even see whether it's the same company or not. I always quote it in my, discussions about when people talk about AI, ML, etc. Right? So I always refer to NVIDIA. Good to know that, Krishna Kumar. Okay, Sahith, you reached out to me in LinkedIn. Sorry, I could not respond. We'll try to look into it and then respond to your message. Okay, Manjunatha is selling work in VisionNet Systems Private Limited as a process analyst. Great. Then Ashish passed out in diploma in 2015. Started working accurate sensing technology as well as start pursuing BTech with my job. Passed with third division in electrical and electronics in 2018 and currently working in the same company. Very nice, Ashish. It's glad to see somebody coming from a diploma, moving on to further to doing BTech, improving their skill and want to grow up further in the value chain. I have seen many people like you who put a lot of efforts over the years and then they grew very well in their career. The continuous effort is what keeps you going. Very glad to see that. Pratibha from Bangalore, 2021 pass out, currently working as a project engineer. Great. Then we have Bhavan, electronics and communication graduate from Maharaja Institute of Technology, Mysore, 2021. Currently working as a test engineer in entity data. Okay, you are working professional in entity. Then you have Puneet. I was a graduate in 2018, EEE ATME College, working in Bagamane Private Limited as a maintenance engineering. I'm very passionate to become member engineer, but I'm thinking about placement because I passed out in 2018. Okay, give me some time, Puneet. We'll discuss that in detail. Then we have Mehboob, BMSc 2020, working as a test engineer in IoT home automation company. Good. Then we have Shubham, then he's from SSGA Bilai, 2020, right now working in a private broadband service providing company owned by my family. Okay, we have a family business owners also in the call. Then we have Mrinali, she's from Nagpur, working Navitas Lighting as a junior engineer. It's a first time studying online. I hope to learn a lot from this course. Great, because that's another question many of you would have, especially when you want to do an embedded course. That too doing online, how would that work, right? Okay. Because I'm seeing some of you questions are coming, saying that I'm from an older era pass out, how my placements would work like, and some of you are asking, like, I come from learn online, will it be as effective as learning in offline, especially given the hardware dependency, etc. Don't worry, we'll discuss all these aspects in detail. Then Nandita is selling as working in a college, now at a school, don't have prior experience. That's fine, Nandita. Then we have Bhargav from 2020 pass out, working as an internship trainee, Amar Raja Power Systems as embedded engineers. Good to know. Right, yeah. Pratiksha is saying Rajiv Gandhi Pratyogiki Vishwavidyalaya. Okay, that's what RGPV means. Okay, Jayashree said, no sir, had a baby, so I had to discontinue. Now want to re-begin with my career in core field. So chose MS. Very nice, Jayashree. We have a lot of people like you who do their engineering, and I always empathize with, especially in India, given our family and the societal ecosystem, girls go through a lot of challenges. They need to take a break. They get married. They need to relocate to some city or country, or they need to take a break because they have a growing children whom they need to support, etc. It's very happy to see that you've taken this decision and joined this particular course. There are a lot of success stories who are come with a similar background. And what happens when you resume after a long break? You're always having a lot of issues with respect to your self-confidence, whether people will accept me or not. And also there is an identity crisis. I studied engineering, but I'm not getting into job, and your personal priorities also taken up because you have a kid, etc. So don't worry about it. Everybody similar to you. We have seen many students in emergency, and we have seen some of them come out very successfully. Glad to see, very inspiring to see that. Then we have Ajmal in 2019, BTech, EEE, and worked as a BDM in IT company, project engineer, solar company, 1.7-year experience. Good. Then we have Abhishek, 2020, Cochin University, working in TCS, looking to switch to embedded. Great. Okay. Then we have Muhammad Rohit, completed my BTech, ECE 2019, working in Synchro Electronics, Kolkata. Good. So we have Rameshwari from Bangalore, 2019, pass out from ECE. Good. Then we have Agam Sasdev, 2021 ABS Engineering College, Ghaziabad. Currently working in power distribution company. Good. Then we have Kailash Nath from Kerala, 2019. Currently working in IT sector, looking for switch to my area of interest. Very good. Then you have Aishwarya, having 6 years of experience. Wow. From 2007 to 2014. Then moved to Germany, completed my C1 in German. Now want to enter into embedded domain again. So are you now based out of Germany, Aishwarya? And if yes, can you also know which city that you are based out of? We work with a lot of automotive companies who are based out of Germany. I don't know about the work visa aspects there. Probably I call out one company which will be of little more interesting to you from your future employment perspective. Okay. Then I'm from Kirti from Chennai. I graduated in 2019. 3 years of experience, electronic service engineer, and passionate to pursue my career in embedded. Thank you, Kirti. Then we have Sirisha, EC graduate, BNMIT 2018 passed out, currently working software engineer in Bosch. Oh, Bosch, you are okay. So did we meet Sirisha in induction training or anything? Did any of the emerging mentors did any of the emerging mentors meet you by any chance? Because we do entry-level training for Robert Bosch over the years. Okay, I'm not sure whether you met me or any of our mentors. All right, so Aishwarya says Frankfurt. Okay, great. So Germany, as you know, almost all the automotive companies have got their headquarters there, and that is another sector opening up very well. We'll talk about it in my subsequent slides. Okay. So thank you very much. I know it's taking time. It's almost already we spent about 40 minutes, but it's worth. As I told you, we are not here to rush things up, even if it takes long time. I'm expecting that today it will take more time. The people also more questions will be more. Our idea is not to see the clock and say, okay, class is over. You can do that for your classes, but at least for the induction sessions and monthly placement meetings, which I do with my students, I ensure that quality time we are spending together so that all your questions are answered before you complete the session. Okay. So let me proceed with the next set of slides. Okay. So let me talk about few job trends which you are seeing in the market in the recent months, because as I mentioned, I worked on the placement. I lead the placement initiative from Emercy. We end up talking with companies almost on a daily basis. Okay, we are seeing a lot of updates. So let me share you a few things, right? So first and foremost thing is like there's a tremendous momentum in the job market, and companies are struggling to hire skilled engineers. Okay? Especially if you look at last 6 months, there have been a lot of jobs coming in the market. Unlike the situation when it was in the beginning of 2020, when the pandemic has set in and companies did not have any idea about how they are going to basically struggle through this challenging times. Added to that, the work from home, whether it's going to stay, how long this pandemic is going to stay, all those challenges and all those questions are now answered very well. Okay, and because of which, a lot of work is moving to India across all the type of companies. You name MNCs, you name mid-sized companies, and a lot of new age startups coming in the areas like robotics, electric vehicles, etc. So the job market is under a very good situation compared to even 2021. I show you some graphs and statistics, right? That's one first positive thing. Okay. Then the second thing is because of this particular situation, and I'm telling you the technology jobs are going through challenges across all the companies. For example, last week we were in meeting with a company called Honeywell, which all of you would know. What earlier Honeywell used to do, they used to go to some campuses, especially tier 1, tier 2 campuses, and they used to hire. Okay. And wherever there is a, in spite of them hiring, they still have more openings. They used to come to institute like us and then hire. Now the situation is reverse. When you go to tier 1 and tier primary, those type of colleges, what's happening? Because working for startups has become very much an accepted phenomenon in India. Right? If you look at 5 years back, when you go and tell I work for a startup, nobody will give a great view to it, right? But after seeing the success stories of Zomato and Paytm, irrespective of what is happening in the public stock market, some of you may be observing that. But those kind of companies have demonstrated that it is indeed possible to build really world-class, really big organizations from India. So it has become very natural for people who wanted to work in those type of technologies. So this tier 1, good number of the students are taking up those jobs, right? So let us say Honeywell. Honeywell going to give an offer to students in a tier 1 college. He's not joining. Why? He's going and joining this startup. Now, Honeywell is in trouble because they can't go to tier 2. Because when you go to tier 2 college, you will get people, but you will not get people who are skilled. Those people are used to, they'll fit the bill of an IT job. If I ask a question, people who are still in their engineering college or even completed, when you ask a simple ratio, you will say 95% of the companies which hire in your college are IT companies, right? So that was working well for an IT company, but for a core company which is working on an embedded kind of a product development, it is not working out for them. So they are they're in a kind of a junction where tier 1 students are not joining them, and tier 2 students, if they hire, they're good, but they don't have the necessary skill. So they need to again retrain. There's a lot of challenge going on there. So they're exploring alternative channels. They're looking at institute like us, and we had a long meeting with their India country head, the entire leadership team of Honeywell last week. In terms of hiring projections and how much they can hire and stuff like that. So that's the challenge that every big company is going through. And if you look at, there are certain niche companies are coming up. For example, I was talking with Aishwarya about, she's based out of Germany. I told some interesting observations on that. If you look at, there's a company, which is like not a very big, not a very well-known company. There's a company called Matrix. If you just get a chance, just go ahead and Google about this particular company, right? So this particular company is working on automotive domain, and they just started their India operations, right? They were like they were working on what do you call working on different technologies, and sorry, they just started their India operation, and they are hiring our students, and they have been working from home. They're just going to open their office in Pune. Okay? So what they are coming and telling us is that we are going to grow. We are going to grow the India center in a big way, and they're paying in euros, by the way. They still not opened up their India center, so they get their salary converted in euros, right? So what they're saying is like every quarter you give me n number of students, right? That those type of models also emerging, right? They're telling, for example, every quarter they'll hire about 20 students through emerging. Okay? So that type of approach is also happening from the companies, right? And as I already said, the domestic innovations like electric vehicle and all going very well. Where you can see the new age companies like Ola Electric and all taking over the electric vehicle space, especially the two-wheeler space, and also the traditional manufacturing and the mechanical companies, name it Hero, name it Honda, name it TVS, name it Bajaj. They're all transitioning into electric vehicle, which is going to be the future. And the beauty on India is like India has always been a two-wheeler driven market, right? Rather than Tesla, which is more of a four-wheeler, which works well for countries like US. But if you look at Asian countries, which is highly populated, the two-wheeler still plays a major role. That's where the domestic EV innovation is going to play a more role. So what it means, right? Whether you talk about Honeywell, a big company, or a growing company, a mid-sized company like Matrix, or you talk about a startups or companies who are making their EV, for example, Ola Electric, all these companies are hiring from emerging. So that's a message that I wanted to share across the size of the company. So in summary, what is the situation? More jobs are chasing lesser number of skilled people. The word is skilled there. You can see it is underlined. It's not about companies want to hire anyone and everyone. If they want to hire in terms of in terms of quantity, they can go and hire any student. That's not the idea. They wanted to hire certain quality. That's why the skill plays a very important role. That's why they come to our institution. Okay, so that let me just do the slideshow. Okay, so let us move on to the next slide. Okay. So as I told, job market is on a very good growth path. A lot of companies are hiring, and very strong demand in the market. In fact, they are finding, for example, our students, they're attending multiple interviews on the same day, multiple written tests on the same day. That has become very much a order of the day these days. Right? There's a very strong demand in the market. And the beauty is, there's a question, right? Sir, I am doing online, right? While we talk about the course part of it later, right? 90%, 95% of the companies are hiring in the digital mode. So when I say digital mode, be it written tests or be it the interviews or even the onboarding part, the entire hiring process is happening online. So whether you're sitting in Kolkata, whether you're sitting in Madhya Pradesh, whether you're sitting in Gujarat, we saw so many of you are telling from different parts of the country, right? All of you can attend the selection process from your home itself. And majority of them continue to work from home. Even they ship their laptop, they ship their what do you call their welcome pack, goodie pack to your home. So many of our students, especially I still remember one student who was our first student who got placed after the pandemic has started. He started, I guess, in April 2020, just after the public lockdown, the countrywide lockdown got lifted. So it's been like almost like 1.5 years, right? He's still more than 1.5 years. He's still working from home. He's based out of Orissa. So we keep chatting once in a while. So you don't need to worry in terms of the placements, right? So whether you are online student, whether you're an offline student, there's no difference. Both the batches will get the same amount of opportunities, right? So coming to opportunities, I'm sure our team would have explained you, but let me just quickly give a view so that you can get an idea. So your placements, for example, you are joining in the month of Jan. For example, Jan 22, you are joining January 22. Let us say this is a 5-month course. Give and take, put one more month extra. Let us say Feb, March, April, May, June, July, or whatever. June, July. Let us say you complete your course. Let us say June 22 is when your course will get over. Okay. So this is a course timeline you are talking about, right? This is your 6 months program. So what we say in a placements is that, okay, like from June 2022, okay, from June 2024, right? June 24, right? So this is the window where you get unlimited number of placement opportunities. So in this window, you can start. This is a window. This is like a 24-month window. You can get opportunities through us. That is one part. And not only that, you can start applying after the 3rd month. You don't need to wait till the course gets over. I'll talk about it in my subsequent slides. Once you are done with your C++, C module, and then one particular project, let us say you join in, let us say February, January is almost getting over, like Feb, March, April. I would say, May onwards, you can start applying for your placements. So May, June, roughly give and take, around 2 to 3 months type of thing. Let us even say 2 months type of timeline, right? So 24 plus 2, I would say 26 months of unlimited placement opportunity you will get. Okay. Earlier we used to give 1 year. About I think another 2 months back we had like we used to tell like 1 year, up to 1 year we'll support. But looking into so many job opportunities that is coming in the market, we decided no, why not? We'll pass on this benefit to you guys. So we decided to increase that window to 2 years, right? So the point I'm trying to drive here is like there was a question about I am from an older era pass. Okay, I did not bring in the data because it's more of a induction session, but a couple of days later I'm planning a monthly meet where I show the data and then explain people, right? So which means to say that companies are coming to us and we are also giving this opportunity to students. You not by keeping your era password or by keeping your academic record, or some of you when you said work experience, right? You all come from very diversified work experience. Some of them are working in IT company, some of them are working in embedded company, but not on the real software side of it. But some of you are taking a break after their pregnancy, etc. Some of you are doing a teaching job. Some of you are in the final year of engineering. Some of you just finished. Some of you giving a gate exam. So everybody has got your own story to tell. But what I'm saying is those stories does not matter for companies, because when they come to us because we are going to train you people for this particular skill set. Okay? So your skill set and your project will have more weightage than your year of password. For example, some of you may be concerned. So I'm a 2018 password. How do I get a job? When they come to you, they will not come to you saying that, oh, are you 2018 or 2019, right? Okay. Of course, they consider that particular year of password, but when you look at it in a 26-month window, right, opportunities pretty much get distributed. So you don't need to worry, will I get an opportunity? Rather, your question should be, okay, TK, I got an opportunity. When I go for an interview, what am I going to do? Okay. The same concern may be from the 2021 student also. You may be thinking, sir, it's already January. In another 4 or 5 months, my juniors are going to pass out. What will happen to me? I lose a fresher tag, right? I'll become an older era password, etc. Right? Please note, we are changing the rule of the game. So we have been playing the game of what you call the year of password, percentage, which college I graduated from. Those factors, it matters. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I would say it hardly matters 10%. Remaining 90% is about what level of skilling that you are getting in emergency. So whether you come from, a teaching background, whether you're coming in a final year student, etc., you don't need to worry at all. This is one point. Other point which because as I told, I was very happy to see students who are doing their final year, they're coming to this particular course. One small point for them is please ensure, because many of you are joined in your second year of MTech or in your final year of engineering, please ensure that you finish your engineering course, because companies who hire our students, they expect you to join immediately, and at the time of joining they ask you to produce your degree certificate, what you call the provisional degree certificate or course completion certificate, whatever your college or university is going to give you, right? So my request is, please don't apply as you are studying. Use this 6 months period of time, build your skill set, and as I told you, you will be ahead of competition, because your batchmates will come and join our course only in June, right? By then you are ready already, right? You can attack the job market by the time your 2022 crowd comes, right? You're already ahead of them. So that is request for the people who are studying, right? Then we have another set of people who are working. We saw, people who are working in entity data, in TCS, many companies, right? For them also, basically, you may have a concern of notice period, right? What if I get a job? I need to serve my notice period. So that also is being taken care at the time of interviews. You can let our placement team know. I'll tell you how to do that. So we will inform the company, and then they're okay to consider the notice period also. For example, recently we had two cases, two students. One student he was a fresher who got selected in Qualcomm, and another student who is working professional. I don't know the amount of experience she has got, but she has to serve a notice period, right? So the student who is having a fresher guy, they gave him joining immediately. For the other student, they were able to negotiate the notice period. I think she'll be joining another 3 to 4 weeks down the line. So what I'm saying is that all these permutation combinations, all the challenges, whatever you are going through, we are already aware, and there is already a solution available for each and every challenge that you are going through. Okay. But on the contrary, I'm requesting on behalf of my team, I'm requesting all of you to focus on skill building. Okay, do not worry about your era password. My background is different. Some of them said, right, sir, I don't have an experience, right? I would say none of you have experience at LCC, right? So you don't need to get concerned about this particular point, right? And it will take you through the entire skill building journey. You focus on whatever mentors are telling, the rest all will be taken care. And when you are joining our course, I'm sure you would have looked into your friends, right? I didn't ask the question, probably I'll ask before I move on to the next slide. Okay. So when they say, right, or when you see a success story, hey, wow, this student got so much salary job, he is able to crack this particular premium job, etc., right? They all come from a similar background only. They did not come with two horns and seven heads, right? They're all same background, similar colleges. In fact, they mail me later saying that, okay, sir, what you told in induction, that was true. No, I focus on my skill building and achieve, right? There's nothing different. Even the slide deck remains similar. Only thing is, time to time, I keep modifying few things, right? Depending on the placement side mainly. But pretty much it remains, our message remains the same. Okay, so don't need to worry about that. Whether you're an online student, offline student, different year of password, all are getting equal and more opportunities, right? And some of the companies, Honeywell, L&T, Qualcomm, Microchip, Matrix, Harman, Bose, you can just go through this list. It is increasing. I lost track of it because it's going too fast. When I refresh my mailbox, I'll also show our Google group how it is getting flooded with opportunities, right? And there are a couple of questions from Arjun and Sahiti. Just keep typing, guys. I'll come to you. I'll pass and then I'll take up your questions. Okay. So EV we discussed, and as I told, skill matters, not whether you are an online or an offline student. In fact, we don't even tell the hiring companies you are an online student or an offline student. We say it's an emergency student. That's all. Okay. And even they don't care. Anyway, their entire process is online. Only 5% of the companies, that too for some final round of interview or something, they ask you to come physically. Okay. So rest all the entire entire set of students, they are attending their interview online only. Okay. So this is about the current placement situation. So one more slide, then I'll pause and take questions. Okay. So this is my, what do you call, my famous slide, which I use in all the webinars, internal, external, student meeting. This is my graph, which I've been doing for the past 3 years, right? So this graph gives you the realistic curve. view of where we stand with respect to placements, right? When you decided to join this course, you would have done your research. You would be really be concerned about, are these really companies really come? Okay, do they really get placed, right? You would have done your own due diligence. That's all fair. No? I don't have any forms to say that, because you have all the reasons to do that. Because if I buy a phone, I do enough background check, right? When you are joining your course and you are going to bet your future based on that, why not, right? Okay. But what I would say, the graph that is there in the slide now gives you the realistic data about the number of placement drives that has happened in emergency over the past 2.5 years. These numbers, whatever you're seeing, right? Let me just explain that. The blue ones, which is there in the, talks about mainly the 2020 story, right? If you see 2020, we started off quite well, around 22 drives we had done. When you say drive, like a company comes to us, and then the company asks for a specific skill set, and then we float an application with the student. Students apply for that particular job, and we share the list with the company, and the company people will shortlist some students, and then our students will go through a written test or interview. Okay? That's when we count as a placement drive. Okay? So that's what those numbers are, just to be clarified. No? And we also have a count of how many applications got floated. Anyway, that number is also there, right? So it started off quite well, but if you look at the 2020 story, by the time we reached April, it was quite a challenging state. That's when the entire pandemic is set in. I still remember the 13 drives we had done by March 2020 itself. Then March 15th, you know what happened, right? It just took a nosedive. Then subsequently, when from April, I would say March 15 to April end is where the countrywide lockdown was there. And then when the lockdown started, lifting, the placement started going up reasonably well. And I would say we closed the 2020 with decent number of placement companies. It started going reasonably well. Okay. But if you look at 2021, which is like your red tower, right, red color thing, which is also reasonably started. It was, I would say, rather started little cautiously in January, 14 drives. Then it started going 26 drives in. And so slowly we started. You can see, right? It's kind of double or tripled from how it was in 2020 year, right? And second half of last year, you can just see in the right side of the screen is when it really started taking up. You can see, right? We started doing 42 drives in August. Then in September it went up. October, it went into 51. That was our peak, which we thought 51 drives have happened. We say we did a half century and other things, right? And very interestingly, I used to tell my students, right, December generally, people who are living in the West, we have people who are living in Germany joining us, right? From December 15, people get into holiday mode. They go to Christmas purchase and everything, right? The whole world gets into holiday mode. But very interestingly, in 2021, we did not see that. Even December 31st, we had companies asking for our students, right? That way, I would say the December month also closed out very well last year. Okay, this was the story of 2021. Okay. Now, 2022, when we started, like when we resumed our office in January 3rd, my placement team came and told me, sir, in January 3rd, the first working day of 2022, we had floated 17 placement applications, 17. Okay. And in first 4 days of January, we floated 44 applications. Okay. 44 applications. And the applications, as I told, I lost the complete track of it. As of today, if you look at, right, in January, we are on January 25th, right? The data which I taken from a team just before this meeting, it might again gone up by now, right? We already floated 105 applications. It's already crossed 100 companies this month. Okay, this is the real data I'm talking about. And then in that, 52 drives have already been scheduled, and we still have one more week to go. We would definitely would like to hit as many numbers as possible. And you may be wondering, sir, what about this 52 Hogia and remaining 105? What's going to happen, right? We are waiting for the schedule, which means that which will happen in the coming week, or it will naturally move to February, which means say what you can logically think as of today. For February also we have another 50 plus company lined up already. Okay, see, I've been in emergency for 8 years. Okay, and I spent about 20 plus years in including emergency and my corporate experience, which I mentioned, right? I never seen in my 20 years of career, right, these many job opportunities coming to any batch, any technology, right? And it's only going to go up. So you guys, I would say, are really fortunate compared to people, especially the ones who are in the blue screen, right? We call them as Corona batch, right? Okay, people who passed out, and especially when they were driven back to home and their future were uncertain, they're going through a lot of challenges, etc. Compared to that, I would say placements are in a much better shape. And my placement team is extremely busy. They just don't have time to look up. Even I lost track how many applications are getting floated. As I told, by the time I refresh my screen, my mailbox, more applications come up, and then more selection mails come in, more what you call accolades come from students, more reviews come from students, right? So that's how it is happening. So there is absolutely a golden time to be there in the job market, and thankfully, all the companies recognize the work that we have done over the years. They see Emergy as a trusted partner to hire their trained embedded engineers, be it Honeywell, be it Matrix, or be it a startup like Ola Electric, right? They continue to come. Okay, so that's the scenario that we have. Okay. So I would like to pause here. I'm sure a lot of you would have a good number of questions have already come in, right? So let me take up questions. Let me also take some water. Give me a minute, guys. Just give me a second. We go off the video for a second. All right, we have questions. The question from Arjun, sir, will be there aptitude training along the side? No, Arjun, we don't focus on the aptitude. So I tell students, right? Anyways, later I'll talk about it in the Disha slides. But anyway, since you asked, I'll clarify. So we'll also organize prep sessions, but our prep sessions are mainly focused on the topics which you are going to study in the course, which is about C programming, C++ programming, Linux, microcontrollers, etc. Right? So I tell three things to students. One is your general aptitude, which is like, whether it could be quantitative or whether it could be analytical aptitude kind of things. Then your basic electronic subjects, PT, digital electronics, analog electronics, microprocessor programming, whatever you studied, at least 2 to 3 core subjects in your engineering days. Third one, good number of you have work experience. Whatever you've done, the projects that you've done in your as a part of your career, right? These three topics you guys need to prepare on your own. Okay. So you don't need to wait for it. I would say you can start preparing for all of them right away. It will only going to help you. Yes, because I don't want a scenario. Many times it's happened, students come and tell me, sir, 20 questions were there in the written test. 10 was in C and 10 was in aptitude. 10 I did very well because, I learned C programming well in university. And I even came and verified with my friends. I even typed my code and verified. 9 out of 10, I am confident that I cleared. Then I asked him, what about aptitude? Remaining 10%. No, sir, I just did inky pinky ponky, right? So don't be in that situation. Because companies do expect you to score well in overall, right, as a test. Not only one section you do well and another section you don't do well, right? So please ensure that you start preparing those three areas. Let me repeat: general aptitude, basic electronic subjects, and if you have previous year experience, whatever the projects that you've done as a part of your career, please start refreshing yourself, right? Those 3 points. Hope Arjun that clarifies. Then Sakiti is asking a question: how is this course going to help someone with zero coding and electronic skills? That's a very interesting question, Sakiti. Okay, there are two questions he's asking. One is the coding part of it, and another is an electronics part of it. Right? Let me answer them in a separate way. Right? So coding, if you ask me, as a skill, I even write blogs. People, who follow me in LinkedIn, I publish every week. I think last or before week, I wrote a blog on why programming has become a bitter pill for engineering students today. I wrote a long blog. I'll not talk about it again. It will take a lot of other time. But the summary I want to share is like, in engineering colleges today, you think that you are learning programming, all the engineering branches. I will not even discount whether you are from CS, ECE, EEE, civil, mechanical, doesn't matter. You think you are learning programming, but you are only learning programs. Let me tell what is the difference between that, right? When you let's say, for example, if I ask you a question, hey guys, do you know C programming? All of you will say yes. How did you learn C programming? A teacher will come. they will make you by heart those 25 programs, Fibonacci series, odd and even number. They'll write it in a blackboard. You copy in a notebook. You by heart the syntax. Go type it in your exam. You'll get an output, lab output, and then you get a good mark. Right? That's why everybody's learned the programming. But I would say that's not the right way. You only learned how to by heart 25 programs, including the semicolon, including the double quotes, including the single quotes, etc. Right? But in immersive, when you join, because as I told you, we have a variety of people in this particular course. We have people who are coming and taking this course after 10 years of break, right? And we have people who are working, right? So for us, we start everything from zero. We don't expect any previous experience. In fact, we'll do ulta. We tell whatever you learned in your engineering, you forget it. That's not the right way. So everything starts from the scratch. When it starts from the scratch, what we mean to say is that programming is about problem solving. It's not about by-hearting syntax. Unfortunately, that's how it started in engineering college, right? Programming language, you can think like any other language like English or Hindi or Kannada, Tamil, whatever you can think of, right? It's a tool to communicate. But more than tool, what is important? Your thinking is important. So we build a thinking process first, then we get into C programming next, right? So what happens because of this approach? Tomorrow, let us say you go to a company. That company says, hey, learn Python and do it, right? You will be able to do it. Or some company says, no, learn, let's say C++, you will be able to do that, right? So there is absolutely no worry. But my request to all of you is that follow the mentor's instruction. They'll start everything from the scratch. They'll handhold you and take you through this entire journey of coding and programming. We don't expect you to have any knowledge. If you're having zero coding and you're also openly telling us, I'm happy that you know your challenges. We'll help you with that. In fact, all the students come with the same background. It's not that somebody is having a more, and even somebody say, I know Python. What he has done by learning Python, he has by hearted another 20 more programs. That's all. And if I say, okay, give a problem statement, can you write a Python code? You cannot write, right? So all of you have the same skill set when it comes to coding. So we start from scratch, wipe out your wrong way of learning and start the right way of learning. So that's how we start. Okay, one. Then coming to the electronic skills, right? Okay, electronic skills, as you told, companies do expect you to basically know certain basic electronics when you go for your interviews. But having said that, recently we also saw some very interesting stories. It's very inspiring to hear such things. Where I think around October, November, we had two students who took the course from mechanical engineering background. And we said, hey, mechanical engineers, we cannot commit placement. They said, no, sir, no, we don't want placement, we want to learn. And later they went and through our placement department only, they got placed. Then later came and told us that saying that, sir, I'm from mechanical engineering, but I got an embedded job. We were stunned. Okay? Then he said, I know you did not commit, but we went and proven ourselves in the interview, which means to say what? A mechanic, then only we trashed even the branch stories. Whether you are a civil engineer, whether you are a chemical engineer, you can do this course, right? So if you're coming from electronics background, it will help. But if you're not having also, that's fine. Again, the answer is follow what the mentors are saying. That will take care of both aspects. Hope, Sahiti, that clarifies your question. Arjun, just type in the below if you're fine with the answer. If you still have questions, please feel free to type. Okay. There's a similar question coming from Pratiksha. Pratishta. Okay, sorry, I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. I belong to totally non-coding background. How it's going to help with my placements? Also, we'll be having for classes for companies written test. Yes, with respect to companies written test, Pratishta. Okay, we run a series of workshops called Disha, where our mentors will be training you based on our weekly tests, based on our company-specific tests. So what happens, right? When so many companies are hiring, there's a backend team which gets in touch with these students. We collect the type of questions that the companies have asked, and we have prepared our own question bank, right? Okay. So those questions will be shared to you, discussed with you, and we also conduct mock interviews to ensure that you are not only prepared for the written test, but also you'll be able to confidently face the interviews. Okay. Again, the answer is we have all those things in place. Just be regular, follow what mentors are telling you. Things will fall in place for all of you. Hope that's clear. Then Uday says, is there will be 100% placement? What is the position of the student who doesn't get a placement even in a 2-year bandwidth, right? I would say, Uday, that is basically a student's problem. Okay. So all we can say is that we can share, share this particular plan. When you're asking this question, this is not the question about a system. That's not about a job placement. assessment kind of a thing, right? It is basically the challenge what you're facing internally. You are not confident about yourself, right? That's why you are asking me that question, right? What if somebody doesn't get placed even after 2 years? And tomorrow, let us say we revise this placement guideline to 3 years or 5 years. Still, there may be questions like that. What if I get placed even after 5 years, right? So this is mainly due. I would request you to take a look into it internally. I know there may be a lot of challenges that you face, which is forcing you to ask this question, right? But if you ask me, if somebody is not attending their classes properly, they're not doing their labs properly, right? They will not get job. Let me be very clear. Okay, because just because you join in the course, nobody can guarantee a job, right? We cannot go and tell, hey, Uday is my student, can you hire, right? No company will hire. So it is your responsibility to build your skills. But if you build your skills as per what the mentors tell in terms of your assignments and your projects, definitely, I would say 2 years is a too long a period, right? Okay, definitely 100% placement can be achieved by all the students. So my point of view is that rather than thinking on what if doesn't happen after 2 years, think about you have 27 months, right? 24 plus 3, 27, 26 months timeline you have. This is the type of mentors you have. This is the type of placement opportunity you will get, right? If you make utilize it, definitely 100% placement is possible. Okay, but again, it's in your hand. Somebody will come and take everything lightly. They don't attend the classes. They don't follow the mock interviews. They don't take up tests seriously, and then they will say, hey, well, job has not come to me, right? Now, what can we do about it? We can only tell them. We can only instruct them. There is a saying, right? I can only take you to the pond and show the water. Drinking is your responsibility, right? Neither me nor any mentor will be able to drink the water on your behalf. Hope that's clear, Uday. Okay. So then we have Nandita. Okay. Then we have selling, as you're aware now, sir, 2015 pass out, not having any prior experience. Will I be able to cope with the company's needs? Yes, Nandita, no issues with respect to older batch pass outs. Okay. So let me just share you some success stories because question seems to be coming from that side. In case you attended the webinar, don't worry because the same slides I'll show here. I need to refresh my slides. Okay, let me take a minute and show you. Give me a minute. I'll show you some real-time people have how people have achieved their success. Sending out those slides for you. And as I speak, these slides keep changing because yesterday there was a student, I think he got a career break after like 6 or 7 years or something like that. I need to get to collect the data. But since you're asking some of the success stories, these are all over the place. It's there in your Instagram and whatever the portals that is there. So these are all some of the people. I think this is December data. Anyways, as I told, January data I'll refresh. No worries, right? So these are all the type of jobs people are cracking who are from a fresher batch. People who are 2021, 2020 type of batch of students, right? They whether they attend online or on-site doesn't matter, as I told, right? So that's the type of jobs people are cracking in terms of microchip. Then a lot of automotive companies are hiring, be it Continental, be it Robert Bosch. Even today there was an application floated for Robert Bosch, Matrix, which is said. Then Continental has got another family of group company called Vitesco. Then we have, I think, Harman International. A lot of those kind of companies are hiring, right? You have Continental. There's a company called Thundersoft, where people achieve these type of salary levels, right? NXP, which I forgot to tell, which is our regular recruiter in the semiconductor kind of domain, right? We have, and by the way, there is a student, I think one more student name was that. They were classmates from Kongu Engineering College. They studied engineering together. They did our course also together. They both got job in NXP itself. As I was telling in the initial time, right? Some of you might end up working for the same company, right? Then we have Mega, which is called the Vitesco, which is like a group company of Continental, and she's an online student, right? And again, another online student, she's November, December data is what I taken few. You can just go and check in our Instagram, tons of data available. Just a glimpse, right? This is the people who are achieved our success stories from the recent batch, what you call the 2020 type of a batch. So if you look at the other thing which I was telling, this is another very interesting thing which I shared you. And this is about students who are from mechanical engineering, right? And mechanical engineering students, and if you see, he's also attended the course online. Okay? And people are asking about electronics, right? These folks are from mechanical. For example, Raghu, these two guys only, as I said, right? They attended, they went and got placed, came back and told that they got placed, right? So he got a job in ECEP Technologies, which is a automotive company, right? Then you have Jigyansu, who got a job in an IoT company, which is a company called Six Energy, right? And for a mechanical engineer doing an embedded systems course, getting a 3 lakh job and 3 lakh kind of a starting job is a very good deal, I would say. Okay, you are changing the domain and also you are getting into the better job, right? And this is another very interesting slide which I compiled. Again, these slides keep changing because we have a lot of people who are coming from 2012, 2015 type of pass outs, right? Like, especially women students, right, who are restarting their career after a break, whether it is due to pregnancy, whether it is due to relocation. And they're typically low in confidence. And because the skill sets are not up to the mark, they're away from their work life for quite some time, etc. So again, by doing a hands-on learning, naturally your confidence will build, and then you create a profile and get into the placements. Okay. We have a lot of people who are achieving stories. This is a glimpse of it, guys. Right? If you want to dig and talk about it, I can talk about it all the way. This is a story of Anjana. She's an MTech 2014, and she worked in all sort of jobs. Right? She was an admin, she was a teacher. I think we saw some of you telling about teaching profession, etc. Right? She was able to get a job in a company called ECEP Design after 7 years of career break. Right? And then we had Kushbu. She, I think, relocated to Bangalore. She was working in a different city. She got married, I guess, came to Bangalore. She was a 2016 pass out. By the way, none of them had any programming background. Okay, no need to worry. Nandita is asking. Many of you are already asking me this question, right? They are all same. Instead of Nandita, it is Kushbu, right? Instead of Govind, it is some, probably it is Jingyansu. That's the only difference. But they all come from similar background. And she was able to crack reasonably premium job. Then we had Khyati Sri, who's a 2018 batch students, got a job in QNAP. Then we had Ruchi, she's 2019. She lost her job due to COVID. Then she came and joined our course. She cracked it with Tesco, right? And this is another great story. People are talking about need to take a break, right? Basically, Sangeeta is another amazing example. She's a 2014 and she had some work experience. And again, she had a gap because she had a second kid and then she restarted. I hope all of you can relate with Boat. Boat is a very good consumer electronic company which makes all the headsets and wireless Bluetooth. As you can say, India's Apple, whatever you can say, right? Maybe it's too ambitious, but I'm saying, right? It's a brilliant company. She's able to resume her career, right? And the story goes on. So this is a set of people more of achieved their this thing, and other set of students who are like coming from a different background, because we also saw people who come from working in an application type of a job. They're working, but they wanted to transition into embedded. We had some of the students like Haripriya who joined in the what do you call our course. She was working as an intern with some company, and then later she moved to HCL. Similarly, we had Harish. He's a professor. As he was working as a professor, this college called CIT Gubbi. Gubbi is like near Bangalore, Tumkur area, right? So he was able to transition into HCL. Okay. Then we had Pawan, who was working as an application engineer. It's a company called Cobam. And then later he was able to, I think we placed him in XEMES. And then from XEMES, he went into AMD. Currently, he's in AMD. Okay. Then similarly, we had Rohan, who was working in Mindtree. He was working in the application side, Java J2E side. He in fact quit. Those times we did not have an online course, so he needed to quit his job, took a risk and came and joined our course. And we placed him in, I think, Robert Bosch. From there, he moved on to Toshiba. Okay, currently he's working in Toshiba, right? So this is a glimpse, guys, as I told it, some variety of people who come from different era pass out, and they are resuming their career, or they are fresh people like that, right? You have various examples. And as I said, right, I try to update because things run very fast. Probably, time to time I'll keep showing different pictures. Otherwise, say, sorry, so you're showing the same picture. That's not the case. As I speak, more and more students are from the different combination they're getting placed. But one common thing, as I already told, among all of them is that they followed whatever the mentors have mentioned. Okay. So hope Nandita, then Uday, Pratishta, Prakriti, all your questions are getting answered with these examples. Right? So let me come down. Then what is the average salary given in 2021? Govind this time, right? That's a good question. So Govind, average salary, if you look at it, we have three buckets of companies. If you look at in this particular slide which is shown, some of them hover around 3, 3.5. Some of them around 5, 5.5. And if you go up, right, it goes all the way up to 15, 14 type of numbers, right? On an average, you can say, around 3.4 lakhs type of a number, you can easily assume as an average, right? If you take overall company, that's an average number. Okay. Then Siddhant saying, I belong to diagnostic background with 4.5 years of experience. Is there any diagnostic company coming for placements? I did see, Siddhant, basically, I don't remember the names, who are working in the medical electronics field, who are working on, more of a medical electronics, medical embedded systems field. Okay, I don't get their names, but probably later we'll be able to dig out the name, or you yourself can look it. You will be part of the Google group. Yes, some of the companies do come from the medical diagnostic background, and a company like L&T, which hires our students. L&T, it's a very big company, and when they come to us, even though it's a Indian company, they hire our students mainly for their embedded vertical, right? And after getting placed through L&T, they are deployed into variety of projects, and good number of them are in the medical electronics field. Since your question is specific to medical, I just thought I will share it with you. But as an overall, right, medical is one field. We have companies coming from automotive, which I showed, and then we have IoT, robotics, telecom, then we have electric vehicles. So almost all the embedded verticals of companies hire our students. Medical is one of them, and it's also, I heard from some of the recent statistics from the market, it is going to boom. Okay, the medical electronics, the medical equipment industry is going to boom further. Okay. So then Shubham is asking, sorry, is there will be interview practice? Yes, mock interviews will be conducted, Shubham, before you go to the real interviews. Our mentors, team of mentors, conduct time to time mock interviews, so that not only conduct, they also share you feedback. How did you perform? So before you go to the actual interview, you are prepared for that. Okay. So Akila is asking, can you specify the subjects which we have to prepare on your own for placements? Should you join immediately after getting placed, or will there be time to wait for better opportunities, right? So there are two questions. One is like subjects, and then another is a joining part of it, right? Subjects I already clarified, as I already told, basic electronics, general aptitude, your final year projects. When you say basic electronics, whatever the core subject that you study, right? Microprocessor could be there, digital electronics could be there, analog electronics could be there. So that when you go there, you'll be able to answer the basic questions of it. That is one. Okay. Coming to joining part of you, I would say majority of the companies want you to join immediately. Okay. Suppose they make an offer today, they'll probably give you 2-3 days of time. You need to join. There is except unless you are a working professional who is serving a notice period and you need to serve. And we always recommend people you serve your notice period, then you basically go and join the company. Don't run away from the previous company overnight, right? So for those people, we talk to the companies. Our placement team will talk, explain the situation, and buy you the notice period, or rather negotiate the notice period. And you can also go back to an employer and request for early relieving or something like that. So that's where it works. That is only for people who are working, which is relatively smaller portion. But majority of you, if you get a job, you need to join immediately. That is one question. There is also one hidden question what Akila is asking. So will there be time to wait for better opportunities, right? Okay. So let me make it clear. Anyways, it will come in the later slides. From Emergy's side, you need to only choose one job opportunity, which means to say that, as I said, right, every day you will be getting so many opportunities. If you're eligible, you can apply. You can apply to all the companies. Or if you want to wait, you can wait. We are not going to force you. It is up to you, right? We are not going to force you. But once you get an offer, you need to join one company. Suppose the second offer comes, we don't allow the second offer. Because why it happens is basically When the second offer comes, when you don't join, that is considered as an offer rejection from the recruiting companies, which is not a good sign, because 70% of our recruiters are repeated recruiters. We have a lot of trust with them. We ensure that 100% joining rate from our emerging students are concerned, right? That is one part. Second thing is, if you get 2 offers and let us say Shubham is not getting any offer, that's not what we want, right? We want all of you to go with one offer, whether it is Shubham, Akila, or Munir. I want all of you to go with one offer. Okay? But if you're really confident, no, sir, I want to only wait for premium companies and apply, no problem. You can apply. Okay? There is no force. Hope that's clear, Akila. Then we have Munir. We're talking about Disha workshop happening during the course. I'll talk about it, Munir. Okay, so apart from the technical sessions, which is your daily labs and other things, right? Apart from that, your Disha sessions are conducted in various buckets, right? There'll be, for example, we started doing this monthly placement meet, right, which we meet every month, 4 hours, 2 + 2 hours, where I meet students like similarly, only talk about placements because I don't need to worry about training part. They're already going through that one. The second thing, we do entry preparation, subject-specific preparation, which will be happening along with your technical classes. There will be additional sessions which will be created. Then apart from that, the resume preparation and interview preparation, which I do again once in a quarter type of thing. Once you have the good number of the students, we collate them and then we do the resume writing, how to face interview and all. So this is the type of workshop that will be conducting. Akila, can you brief up the levels that we must clear for placements? I don't know what you mean by levels, Akila. You can be a little bit more clear. I'm not understanding your question. Okay. Then Saurabh is asking how many classes will be live and how many classes will be recorded sessions. Okay. So Saurabh, all our classes are live. Okay. All our classes, right from induction, our Disha workshop, everything will be live. But since some of you will have network issues, you might miss classes in worst case scenario, or you may want to revise the topic before you come to the next session, next day. We also give the recording of the live sessions. Okay, just as a backup. But the primary thing is our live sessions. Okay. So recording is given as a backup. Let's say tomorrow this entry you wanted to refresh a pointer. You just want to refresh your pointer class and go. Right. For that purpose, recorded will be good. But apart from that, every day you are going to have a live sessions only. So that's what the next question is about. Prathamesh or hello sir, how can we attend skip lectures? How to access recorded lectures, right? So as a mentor, we don't recommend people to be absent because that's not okay. Whether you are a working professional, whether you are resuming after career break, whether you are a student, right? One common recommendation is please do not bunk the classes because it's not a theoretical classes. If you miss it, means you can study from your college, like college notes, right? You can learn from your friends' notes. It doesn't work like that. It is highly hands-on sessions. If you miss the session, means you miss the whole story, right? But in case, yes, there can be some unforeseen circumstances where you miss your sessions. That's where the recorded sessions comes into picture. So what happens is once the class is over, typically it takes a day or maximum 2 days for our team, the backend team, to take the recording and put into something called as an LMS. Okay, let me just like you'll be given something called as LMS. Okay, it's called Learning Management System. And online access will be given to all of you shortly once you are onboarded. Once you log in, you will be all the recorded, all the module wise, and then all the subject wise, all the videos will be recorded there. You can access. As I told, once the live class is over, the next day it goes up. Typically, suppose today is our class, tomorrow it will go in the recorded in the LMS. But in worst case, right, our team also busy and there is a issue could be in downloading, uploading. That at least by maximum second day that session will go. And every day it's getting uploaded. Right, you'll get access to all. Hope that's clear, Prathamesh. Then there's a question from Fabia. Sir, even I know program for coding test, but I could get the output because of different online written test platform used by MNCs. How can we be familiar with this kind of online written test platform? So Fabia, platforms will change, okay, because some may use HackerRank, some may use something else, right? It's about like, for example, you're playing in different pitches, right? He's asking, sir, how do we get used to different pitches? So pitch, you cannot be, we cannot predict and what platform they will do, right? But the problem is not with respect to familiarity with the platform. It's more about how well you are comfortable with coding, how well you are comfortable with your hands-on part of it, right? So once you are comfortable with that, irrespective of any platform, you will feel comfortable. The issue is not with the platform. The issue with the programming skill or the confidence that you are lacking is a problem. Okay? So once this is taken here, because there are a lot of platforms out there. As I told, HackerRank is one. There's a Metal. There is one platform, and different companies use different platforms. Right? We cannot teach you every platform, right? Only thing is that you learn batting and you go and play. Right? If your batting is strong in any pitch, you can bat well. Okay? I would say like that. Okay. Then Ashwini is telling, sir, if someone gets placed but is not satisfied with the package he got, then can he again apply for other company which are higher? The answer is no. I already clarified. You are going to get only one job offer from Emergency. Okay, we are not an organization where where we are going to give you a dream job offer. As I told it, my idea is not to ensure one student who is really good, he gets 3 job offer, another student doesn't go any offer. No, our goal is not like that. Our goal is all the students get one offer. So if you're getting an offer, whether you like it or not, you have to join. Okay. And before you apply, all the information will be shared to you. For example, let me walk you through the Google group shortly. You can see the complete information. If you say, right, sir, I'm not okay with this package, you don't apply. Nobody is going to force you, right? And once you apply, and let us say there can be another scenario also. Let us say, for example, you are attending 3 companies. Let us say company A, then there is a company B, then it's a company C. You are attending 3 companies at the same time. It can happen to all the students, right? So let us say one company is offering, let us say 4 lakh package, one company is offering 7 lakh package, another company is offering 10 lakh package, right? You are attending these 3 interviews parallelly. Let us say, for example, your 4 lakh package comes up first. This company A comes and tells, hey, Ashwini, here, you are selected. Okay. What we do as a placement team in the back end, we go and tell B and C saying that, this particular student, Ashwini, is not available. We'll block you from attending B and C. Even if you have conducted the written test, you have attended a one doctor of technical round, no. Okay. So earlier companies are little angry with that. Some students also a little angry with us, sir, this is unfair, survival of the fittest, etc. But overall, right, when you look at this, when you introduce this policy, right, overall everybody understood the merit of what we are talking about. Okay. Why? Because if you take, even let us say you get a 10 lakh job offer, let us say you get selected in C also, you will not join A. So what's the problem? A will be, company A will be unhappy because they will say offer rejections through our university, which we say no. Second thing, let us say, for example, if you're not you, right? Suppose you are so good that you want to only go with C, right? In your place, some other students would have got selected, right? So there is absolutely a, I don't want to deny opportunity for others. So given all these aspects, right, you need to be given only one opportunity. You are not given multiple job opportunities, right? And there is no force. If you feel, sir, I only want to apply these type of companies, you do it. But please ensure, I don't know, I'll say this again. I call it as Deepika Padukone syndrome, right? Okay. People say, sir, I only want to marry Deepika Padukone or any hero you can think of, right? Okay. Before marrying Deepika Padukone, you become Ranveer Singh. That's what I say. Because Deepika Padukone has got a choice, right? Okay. So if you're targeting a premium package, if you're having this as a goal, go for it. But ensure you're preparing well. Okay. Don't wait for only big package and miss all these things. Other also point I also wanted to tell you is that even if you're not landing in a premium package, let us say you get a job, you wanted to get into a 12 lakh job, but you got a 3.5 lakhs or 4 lakh type of job, there's nothing wrong in it. You already achieved your goal of getting into a core job and your first job, right? Work there for 2 years, 3 years. In any ways you can switch. If you just look at our own this thing, right? LinkedIn profiles, right? Generally, I get into this phenomenon. Deepika Padukone in our scenario is Qualcomm. Everybody says Qualcomm, right? You just go and look out for Qualcomm, right? There are tons of students after getting selected. Let me just walk you through because you guys are everything wants a proof, right? So, let me. Say, for example, you take Sachu, right? So Sachu came to our course. He was a little old, right? He was a 2018 student. Where did we place? We placed in Global Edge. He worked there for 3.5 years, you can see, right? Then he went and became a senior engineer in Qualcomm. So all these things are happening. You just go and look at Qualcomm and you'll find tons of students, right? I can go on, like for example, I'll say Adal, uh, you know, uh, you can say Adal. So Adal, we placed him in, I think, in some other company called Dexel Electronics, which pays, I would say, much lesser than, and then later he became a AMD, right? A semiconductor company. So all these things are happening. So what I would suggest is do not target both. I want a core job also, and I want a high-paying job also, right? If it happens, I'm happy, right? All of you are able to aspire for that. I don't want to say your aspirations are wrong, but if it doesn't happen, it's no worries, right? There is always your career is going to be for next 35 years, right? No need to worry. You can crack it in the next. Hope Ashwini that clarifies. Then Mahibub is asking, do you have an aptitude and screening round for placement? I don't know about what question you're asking. So are you asking like a test from emergency side, Mahibub? You can clarify so that I can answer it better. Akila is asking level of test. I don't know, Akila. I'm still not getting your question. Yeah. Then GR is asking same question. Sir, if you've been selected but not joined, still we are eligible for future placements? No. Only one placements are done. Okay. You will not be given more opportunities. You cannot wait for premium company, right? Then we have Kashinath. As a part of the course, how many major projects will be there? In every module, we at least mandate students to work on 1 to 2 projects. Put together, we expect you to do 7 to 8 projects. That's a number that we expect you to complete. But having said that, we have a lot of projects. So let me just quickly show you guys. If you go to emergency.com/embedded systems. Let us say C programming itself, right? There is a industry projects. By the way, this is all open. You can share it with your friends also, no issues. So you can see here, right? In C itself, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 projects are there in C itself, right? So where your mentors will be asking you to do at least 1 or 2 from here, but that does not stop here. Suppose you want to do more, like say you're done, your mentor told more, there's nothing stop. You can go here, look into more projects and do it on your own, right? In fact, some of our top performers in the past, they've done up to 15 projects, 1-5 in our course. Okay? So that's a level you can prepare yourself, and everything is open. You can just go and collect, just explore this page. Okay? Hope Kashina that is clear. So Mahibu is asking, so do we get recorded session until the course is finished? Yes, not only until the course, even after you finish the course. As I told, right, we started our online courses from May 2020. Even the old student access we not removed. Okay, people keep asking, sir, are you removing? Are you removing? Right? We said we not have any plans to remove. Yeah, maybe sometime our server will get overloaded. That time we'll let you know. Even the old guys are still accessing the video, so we don't have any plans to remove. As of now. Okay, so you have ample time to access the videos. Dimple is asking, so what if the second company package is higher than the first one we get? As I already told Dimple, you don't need to worry. The moment the first company confirms you are placed, we get a notification, right? Our placement team, before even they tell you, they tell us. Because in backend, our placement team works like a live machine only. We will tell automatically the second company that Dimple already got a job with company number 1. Dimple will not be available for interview in company number 2. We tell straight to the second company. As I told, initially companies were unhappy, but over the period of time, they understood, they appreciate the merit of why we are doing that. Okay, so that's clear. Then Mohammed Munir is asking, so can we attend the same company again if they rejected once? Yes, Munir. Again, that depends on the company. So some company will have a cooling period. They say if you've been rejected, you need to wait for 3 months or you need to wait for 6 months, then you attend once again. Some company will say no, once you're rejected, you cannot apply once again. So that also will be mentioned. So let me quickly show you, since there are a lot of questions coming on the placement side. This is like your show the Google group. all of you will be part of this Google group where the entire placement applications and everything will be coming up. Let me go to the forums. You can see here, right, the complete emails every day. Like say today is what, 20. You can see here, right, morning 10 o'clock onwards. You can see, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Almost like 9 mails have come only. Some of them are new companies which are seeking applications. For example, there's a company called Danla, right? You can see, right, the company URL, the company profile, what skill set they're expecting, right? And then we clearly mention students completed till C programming can apply. Then what is the eligibility of this company in terms of academia, in terms of year of pass out, what is the salary level, if they have any bond, what is the entry mode, then what is the job location, Hyderabad, work from home or from office decided by the client, right? So every information is given to you. Similarly, let us say you go now, Continental is another example. And then you can see, right, here is the answer by Muni, right? You can see, right, students who applied and shortlisted in the last 3 months also can apply. You can see here we clearly mentioned that. Okay. So please watch out, read through this application, because one problem I have is like students don't read it properly. Okay, just read through that. Our team puts all the information required here. Then you have salary, there's no bond, this is a mode of interview. Job location will be Bangalore, work from home, work from office, decided by the client. It depends on them. Okay. But most of them are working from home. But some of them try to resume, but again, due to Omicron, they again gone back to this thing, right? Then there'll be cutoff, which you need to apply. In this application URL, we can apply. It is a typical this thing. And then all the other things, for example, when you're getting shortlisted for an interview, somebody got selected, the entire information. And by the way, today Bosch also went live, as I told in the morning, in the beginning of this thing, right? Yesterday it went live. Now they changed their name. Robert Bosch. Now I think they call themselves Robert Bosch Global Software Technologies. In India, they have they have rechanged it, even though it's a parent Bosch. They changed it and brought a new branding they made. They're in India center. They're also hiring. You can see here. Again, there is all given. Okay, here you can see. Student who applied last time, don't apply. Again, this is a criteria set by the company. We are not setting it. The companies will tell. So depending on that, read through that and then you can apply. Okay. Suppose you say, okay, students who applied last time don't apply, but still you apply. Don't worry, we'll remove your name. Our backend team will take care. My request you to please go through this particular application. All the information is given. But even if you have queries, okay, going through also still you have questions, I'll share in the last, like how do we basically reach out to us. And as I told you, right, coming week I'm meeting the students from this week, right, Thursday and Friday, 2 days. I'm meeting them on a monthly meeting, and then we do a live webinar, and then any predefined questions they have, people will submit even after joining the course. That way, time to time we clarify. Okay? And our placement team, WhatsApp, email, everything will be given to you. You can take all the support. So the point I'm trying to say is, like, just because you are online, there's a question, right? So online, how do we do that? It's well supported, and we work with the students very closely, as good as you are coming and sitting in your MG room. Only difference is there I'll see you physically, here you are seeing in a camera. That's the only difference. All right. Whether every company is taking screening test? Yes, Mahibu, every company would take tests. There are few of them which you directly call for interview, but majority of them would expect a written test. Oops, a lot of questions. Let me. Bhargav is asking, during practical sessions, any development boards are taken for hands-on experience? Yes, I will just share you how we mitigate the challenge of boards, Bhargav. Let me move on to the next session. I not started my course details yet. We're already at 8:45. But no worries, as I told, 60 plus people sessions. My idea is not to time it, but answer as many questions as you can. Okay. Sirisha is asking, should I be working in notice period while attending for placements here? No, Sirisha, because that's a risk. Okay, because once you resign and your notice period, and if you don't get a job, right, again that it can create more issues, right? So rather you do it like how you are doing. Like normally when you are applying for other job, what happens, right? You get the job and then you submit a resignation to your previous company. There will be a notice period which you need to serve. Then you get relieved, right? The similar situation can be happening for students who are people who are having a bond. The company will say, I have I'm signing a bond for 2 years or something like that, before which I cannot leave, right? So my request is just wait for the bond period to get over, or in your case, apply like how you apply for any other jobs. At the time of final round, you keep our team posted, saying that I'm so and so and I'm having this notice period. They will anyways take care, because we've been working with a lot of working people with respect to notice period. So once you get selected, we will inform the companies about your notice period. Most of them have been considered. We don't see any issue, not even a single instance where companies have complained about notice period. Then you can go get relieved from your previous company. Please ensure you get the relieving letter. Don't hit and run. Don't overnight escape from the previous company. Get relieved properly and join the new company. So you don't need to resign or be in notice period. You get a job, then you resign. Like similarly, you do for any other job change. Okay, this is applicable for all the working people in this particular group, okay? Not only for Sirisha. Then there's a question from Vinay. Sir, as I'm planning to do study MS on embedded systems after getting my work experience of minimum 2 years, this is a good platform. Okay. So, if yes, can you share me some students who have done like this? Sir? Okay, great question. If somebody wants to do higher studies after getting into our course, right? Again, we have various type of students. So let me show you some examples. Okay, just go to YouTube. Um, just search for Immersi. Sorry, Immersi CB. Let me just search for CB. Second. A lot of videos. Let me go to. Just give me a minute, guys. Let me show. You can see these two videos, Vinay. There is this guy, CB. CB joined our course. He did our course, got placed in Honeywell. Then after 2 years, he went and did his MS in Canada. You can see here, and there's a text coming in, right? Then he wanted a letter of recommendation to be given and other things. We helped them. And even as we speak, right, I've already got about 10, 15 students who already asked for LOR, which we give. And by the way, our LORs got a very good weightage. So after that, I think after that, he completed his master's work. He started working in HCL Canada. I think recently he moved to AMD, if I'm not wrong. This is one story of CB. And similarly, there is another chap called Sashi. Sashi got a MS in Germany. Okay, we have students from Germany joining, right? These videos and all recorded by them in Germany and Canada and send it to us, right? So there are a lot of success stories. And when they go and do their masters abroad, this course definitely helps them to stay ahead in their academics, because if you go to US and Germany and UK, the mode of education will be completely practical, which helps them to stay ahead in their what do you call, in their academia. And there is also chance that you will get a TA, a teaching assistantship, research assistantship. Good number of them land that. And not only that, even after getting their studies, right? Even if they completed their studies, they get jobs. For example, okay. So let me show. I think Tarun, right? Okay. So Tarun was one of our student quite some time back. As I told you, guys are in a way lucky, because this course is run online, because we saw some of them are talking about quitting the job, right? So Tarun basically joined TCS after his campus. I think graduated from CMR IT. Then he worked there for about 2 years. Then he came and did his course with us. Then he wanted to work with us for some more time. So we extended his timeline. He built more projects. He said, "Sir, can you give it as an internship?" We said, "No problem," right? We gave him an internship certificate, LOR. He did that. Then after that, he went and completed his master's from University of Colorado Boulder. And then he got a job in Western Digital, right? It's again, Western Digital, all of you know, it's a core company. He works from California, Irvine. That's where his campus is. And very interestingly, even when he was like getting a job in Western Digital, in West, people who are in the West, right, they do a lot of reference check. I get a phone call, he given a good reference to these students, and then they got job, right? Tarun is one, and I forgot another guy who works in Apple. I forgot his name. Let me just say. Mm, Let me just filter, guys. Connections first. Yeah, Sharath. Yeah. So Sharath is another student. He's from MS Ramaya. He got admission already, but he had got a 6 months time. That's so he had like 2016 he did. At 17 he resumed his master's from Carnegie Mellon. I'm not sure whether he's mentioned in his course. I think he's not mentioned. Anyways, you can see I given him recommendation and other things, right? He came and he did his course, and then he went to Carnegie Mellon. He finished his master's there. Then he's working in Apple as a firmware, the audio firmware engineers, right? So I can go on and on. A lot of global success stories just to answer your queries, Vinay. Okay. Very well possible, right? Um, then, sir, if I'm an intern got placed from emergency, if we have opportunity for applying with notice period, I'm not sure. Yeah, you can apply with an experience. You can apply. That's what. If you have any type of work experience, you can apply along with that. Okay. So there's a question from Jayashree. Will the company mention the recent year of password student mostly apply to interview because I'm 2012 password? Yes, Jayashree, I understand your query because some of the examples that I shown, you might have seen you are a 2012 pass out or 2012 pass out. So there are a lot of companies which say no. Academic. Let us search for this. I think it's not no era password. I don't know whether. So, oh, sorry, not in this one. So there are a good number of companies who hire. We say no. You can see good number of companies who basically ask for no era password. So let me just show you an example. Let me just show an example of, let us say, Fanplay IoT, right? Okay, this is one example. It's a IoT company, right? So very this type of things are startups, mainly mid-sized companies who work on core technology. You can go and check out their thing, right? And then you can see them, right? They say no percentage criteria, no year of password criteria, and then you can see the salary also. Okay. So there are good number of companies because I showed you which one recent ones, but you can see there are many who doesn't look for era password criteria. You can apply for those companies. Okay. You do get good number of companies like that. Okay. Yes, GRS you can apply. Okay. Then again, Mehboob is asking in written test, will all the topics they might ask question in the screen? It depends, Mehboob, right? We cannot go with the syllabus and say, ask me questions only this. Prepare all the topics, be prepared for everything. We cannot be restrictive, right? I will only study this. It's not like a college, right? I ignore one chapter, then I'll still crack the exam, right? You study whatever is given in our course, ensure that you do the entire courseware well, then you will be able to get an idea, right? Okay. Then Govind is asking, sir, how much time of training the placement support will be provided? I think I already clarified 2 years after course completion, but after third month you can start applying for placements. Okay. So that's it, guys. So thank you very much for asking all the questions. I know it's already 9 p.m. As I already told. I told my family also today I'll be late for dinner. I hope it's okay, right? So can I get some responses so far? Are you finding it able to make sense of whatever the data, whatever we shared? So I'm sure you would have spoken to our counselors, but that generally happens over a phone. You may not be able to, and you are also busy. They're also busy. I know that. But are you able to get a better idea about placements, how it works? Can I get some responses? So Govind is telling, thank you, sir, clarifying doubt and excited to learn. And then Arjun says, yes, sir. Pallavi says, more clear and understandable. Sivadathan says, yes. Then Akila says, thank you for sitting back and clearing all the doubts. Then there's a question from Sahiti. So I am also an MS aspirant. I always wanted to pursue my career in embedded domain. Since I have 7 months of time for masters, I joined this course. Hope it enhances my skills and profile. Yes, Sahiti, I think that's precisely what your question in LinkedIn. Okay, I couldn't respond to that. Yes, right. So it's a very good time. Utilize that, like how Sharath has done, how Tarun has done. Like that, we have Shashi. I showed about what do you call CB. Then you have some more students in Singapore, right? At least I personally remember giving LOR for a good number of universities in Europe, US, Singapore, right? In the last, I would say 1 month, at least 10, 15 students are maybe it's application season, because again the fall and whatever the spring, right? It's also gone haywire because of pandemic. But yeah, please utilize your time. We can give you an LOR. Your resume will look good. Okay, your LOR will look good, much better. Along with your professor's LOR, you can add my LOR also from emergency side. We can submit, and the kind of hands-on experience, that's the most important. What you are going to get will definitely going to help you. Okay, so my thing is that I want you to crack a good admission from, not from any other university. Get an admission from a good university. That's my challenge for you, and you can very well achieve it. Okay? So Ashwin is giving me a thumbs up. Vikas says yes, sir. Jyotika says thank you for your info. Krishna is saying yes, sir. Then Amal, yes, sir. Then Uday is saying yes, sir. More clear and waiting further to start my journey at Emergy. So thank you, Uday. Don't worry about 2-year window and all, right? Keep a positive frame of mind. Yes, I know all of you come with a lot of challenges. You have probably faced, not tasted success for a while. That makes you more anxious. That makes you more, you're desperate to achieve success, and your parents are expecting to do well as soon as possible. And more than parents, in my webinar, I always mention in a lighter note, your neighbors are more worried about your career, or your relatives are more worried. They come and increase the BP of your parents, right? So let us shut all of their mouth by showing an offer letter, right? They will still have questions. That's a different story, right? Okay, but at least you can shut majority of their mouth once you hold an offer letter in your hand. So I want all of you to be committed, and you can show that offer letter for sure, right? Okay. So can you brief introduction about how placements will work supporting us? Mahibu, give me some time. I have a separate third last section about placements. The process part, we will explain it later. Jayashree is telling, sir, thank you, sir, because I'm a 2012 pass out. Always feel my situation of re-beginning my career is something abnormal, as companies mostly hire recent pass out candidates. See, Jayashree, this is a very typical challenge that students from an older batch pass out go through, right? Again, on a lighter note, I tell this example in my people like you, right? Especially girl students who are taken a break and come back, right? There's a joke in which they say one doctor went, or rather, a patient went to a doctor, and the doctor said, "Take this medicine, but when you're taking this medicine, don't think about monkeys." Right? Okay, that's what he said. That's a statement he's made. So what happens anytime he wanted to take a tablet, monkey comes to his mind, right? So I would say your phenomena is like that. You wanted to do well in your career, you want to progress further. The moment you want to progress, this monkey called 2012 password comes into your mind. Okay, I'm sure you can relate to it, even though the analogy is little what do you call, on a humorous note, but this is a problem. Okay, my request is that is very well acceptable, that is very well understandable, and you are not going to change. You are not going to change saying that, hey, Jayshree, come to Emergy tomorrow, bring all your certificates, we'll fudge your certificates instead of, we'll write a small, what do you call, C programming swapping program where 2012 will become 2021, right? Last 2 digits will swap it, right? So we are not going to do that, right? 2012 will remain 2012, and whatever your story of your career breaks, everything that also will remain same. I tell even later in the Disha workshop, I tell people, when you go to interviews, just be honest and tell what you are. Okay, we don't hide any information. Say yes, that's what it is. And she has come and she has upskilled herself and went for a better job, right? And you saw a story of Sangeeta, story of Anjana and other things. There are all similarity. But the point is, when you come to our place, right? I tell people, right? You see this goda, this horse, right? They tie the eyes like this so that the horse doesn't look here and there, right? Whether you're looking for a higher study, better job, foreign university questions, resuming their career, you are throwing me fireballs from all the directions in this particular discussion, right? But my request is just give us 6 months time. Okay? And then be like that goda or the horse, right? Don't see here or there, right? Just see this, follow whatever mentors are telling, you will get answers. And we are not going to hide. Tomorrow you apply for a company, no era pass out of a company, keep your head high, go and tell, I am a 2020 pass out. So what? right? And here is the skill set, here is my resume, you assess me based on this, not because I'm a 2012. And companies don't do that, by the way. They really don't care. They say, and they are aware, when you send a list to the company also, we very clearly mention you are a 2012 person. We are not going to hide age. JC is not 2012, it's a 2021, right? We don't do that. That's the reason. See, guys, one more point I wanted to tell here, right? It's not only about you people, right? It's about placement companies also. Let me repeat, 70% of the companies, you might see in the group also already, or even later you see, 70% of the companies come to us repeatedly. Right? They don't come once or twice and then they'll go, right? They keep on coming. The reason is they have trust on us. We don't fudge any data. We don't play any shortcuts. We don't play any cheap tricks, right? We are absolutely transparent. As much we are transparent to you, to people, students, we are as much same transparent with the companies also. Everything is black and white for us, right? So even when it comes to your experience, your era password, we don't hide. Just keep your head high, do your skill building. I'm sure later you will only tell me, sir, I'm able to crack a job. Okay, great to see that. Okay. Sakiti, thank you, sir. That's good to hear. Rubini is telling all good. Thank you, sir. Completely clear, says Deepak. And Nandita says, thank you so much, sir. Esther, I'm a person with less confidence, but I'm sure this course, I can be back to core. Yes. So majority of you, if you ask me, the question is, you are not having confidence. The confidence is not there because you've not done hands-on, right? You've been theoretically, what do you call, by hearting. You really not learned the skills. Our course will take care of that. Then Shubham says, all my doubts are clear. Pallavi says, all the doubts are clear. Okay. Thank you, guys. I know it's already 9:06. Okay. We will proceed. Okay. So this is a slide I used to show last year, but I think things have changed, which has become similar to what I used to tell them. Every time the world has gone through challenges. For example, 2001, there was a recession when we were passing out. In 2008, Lehman Brothers, there was a challenge, right? And then 2020, we saw COVID, right? Now we are in a V-shaped recovery. You saw the placement statistics between, let us say, 2020 and 2022, as we are sitting, we used to get like, 22 companies, which has become 52 companies, almost like what you get 2.5 times or 3 times more companies are coming now. Okay. So this trend is going to stay. As I told, there's no better time than, doing this course now. So many jobs are coming up. All right. Now let me get into technical, okay, the course part of it, because I know majority of your questions will come from placements. That's why in our induction, I always put the placement data first, clarify all your queries so that you'll be more focused towards, talking about course. So let us talk about the course, the overview of our course details. And there were some queries about how we are going to basically work through the challenge of hardware, because embedded systems learning is about hardware, and then certification of it works, some do's and don'ts. Okay, so that's going to be the next portion of it. So we'll talk about the technical part. Then again, we'll come back and talk about the placement process, because there's also a question about that. Okay, shall we start with the technical session, guys? Can I get some response? Shall I proceed? Technical session, shall I start? Okay. Okay, can you delay your dinner for today? Can you delay your dinner for me today? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, even if you take more time, please, it's okay. It's important that we spend time. Okay, and I can go up, no problem. Okay, I know it's 9 p.m. Past 9 p.m. But it's important. I don't want to miss this opportunity. Right. And tomorrow, if they keep it as a part 2, right, we lose the momentum, right? Okay, yeah, delayed for next 5 months. That's a spirit, Muni. Really appreciate that. Okay. So overview, we'll talk about, as we said, one of the major thing is about the skill challenges. It's not that, people are not capable, and people come and ask me, sir, how come in a matter of 6 months, we are able to transition you to a core company? It all happens because of the skill development that we do. So that's what we do as a company across various skill building arena, be it industry, academia, gap, providing better trained resources for companies, doing a domain specific training or organization skill building. That's what we've been doing. Okay. Irrespective of the training we do, our approach is always been by making things practical, and we don't want to compromise on our quality. Okay, our thing is all about providing hands-on training. And when you're making your training hands-on, when you're making it as a learning by doing type of an approach, so definitely you learn things much better, and also your confidence improves. At later point in time in the Disha workshop, people talk to me about communication skills. I tell communication is about confidence. If you do your work well, build your hands-on skill, you'll be naturally confident to answer in your interview, right? So that's the approach we are taking as a company. Okay. So coming specific to the course, the idea is to work on the skill gap and achieve your goal, whether it's resuming your career, doing higher studies, getting into a core job, or I'm in an IT job, want to get into core job. The approach remains the same. So this is a 5 months course, which is nothing but we call it as a immersive certified embedded professional, even though we do get certification from NSDC, but that's a name that we kept, so we continue to call it in that way. It's a 5-month program, and you can see this course, right, consists of two part of it, right? One is like the virtual classrooms, what we call now a virtual classroom means there is a live session that is happening, like it's on a real time. There's a question and answer happening. There's an interaction happening between the students and the mentors. Then there is another portion called as interventions, right? So that is the mode in which is going to get delivered. It's very important for you to understand this well, because initially there is a question from some of you, as I told, right? If you come and ask me in March 2020 or in April 2020, by training online, can you place the students, right? I was a little skeptical. I was not really sure, because we have been doing physical trainings, which we are confident, right? But we are not sure. But over the period of time, we are able to resolve the challenge by doing this virtual classroom and intervention, right? So before I explain this particular thing better, I want you to answer two. Let me ask one by one, right? Have you done any online course? Okay. If you've done any online course, which portal you've done? Whether you've done in Coursera, NPTEL, wherever it is, I want to hear your answers. Can you go and type your answers? Have you done any online course? Where you done? Arjun says Udemy, then NPTEL and Coursera says Sahiti. Pallavi says MATLAB. More than that, then Vikas says Coursera and Great Learning, Udemy, Coursera, Udemy. Okay, Udemy, Coursera, Udemy. Most of you done in Udemy, right? NPTEL, Udemy, Coursera, Gate Prep, right? Okay, great. So, in fact, when we launched this particular course online, okay, when we went, this went live in around April, May 2020. Okay. When we went online, many of my own friends, they came and asked me, hey, there is already Udemy, there's already Coursera, how different you are, right? Okay. So now if you talk about the case of Udemy, right? Udemy, you go there, wonderful portal. I also have purchased a lot of courses. Typically, the courses will be around 400, 450 rupees. If you go there, any topic, let us say I've gone by let us say an Angular programming course, fantastic videos. I have take 20, 25 hours of videos, well recorded, well structured, some guided materials also there to download, right? Okay. But what exactly is the challenge in Udemy is the completion rate, right? Can you guess how many percentage of the students complete Udemy courses? Not purchasing. Purchasing we all do. 400 rupees, what do you call your friends dinner money, you go and spend, you will buy a course. Can you guess how many percentage of the students complete the Udemy course? Any guesses? If you don't, also just guess. How many percentage of the people who take the Udemy course complete that course? What is the percentage? 5 to 10 says 70%, 5%, 25, 5 to 10, 5% says 30%, 10 to 15, 40 says Krishna. Okay. So very low says Shubham, is we want to be very safe, right? So the answer is actually in Udemy, okay, the completion rates, even if you go and do into a Coursera, the completion rates are 3%. Okay. Now the question is why why completion rates are so low? Contents are great. It's very cheap. 400, 450 rupees, you get wonderful course. And if you go to Coursera, you may even get free. A fantastic Stanford professor, MIT professors. In your NPTEL, all are IIT professors. It's free. Okay, they're not even charging that 300, 400 rupees, right? Okay. But still, why only 3% of them complete the course? What is the reason? according to you? Because if you can answer me, then I can explain our course to you much easily. That's why I'm asking. What is the reason why only 3% of them complete? Krishna Kumar says no interactive sessions. Then Sahiti says no proper mentoring. Interaction, lack of interaction, losing of interest. Only theoretical class, sir. There won't be any practical session, says Uday. Okay. No molding, guidance. There's no live query sessions, says Robin, right? So if you ask me, right, content-wise, whether it's recorded and live, there is a difference, right? As you said, live discussion is much more interactive. Like you've been sitting for more than 2 hours now. I sincerely hope it's not boring session. You also committed me that you will postpone your dinner for today. So one is like there's a lack of interaction in the recorded classes, and like how when you are having Dimple says as they're already recorded, the student try to procrastinate a lot, right? So it's like becoming my daughter, how she attends the online classes. She'll put the video off, mute, and then lay back in the chair and then sleep, right? So that's what happens. So there is no live interaction. One major reason. I would say there is one more point I think put across by Sahiti. She's telling there is no proper mentoring. Okay. So let me just elaborate it much more. And even trainers cannot ask the students, right? Sahiti is telling, right? So it's not about content only. The content is there, right? Recorded and live. There's a problem. You are telling me, right? Live is better than recorded. So this is one problem. But let us say going beyond that, right? It's all about doing things in a hands-on manner. When you try whatever the mentor has told, when you're trying it on your own, suppose you get stuck, right? Or you have some doubt. No NPTEL in IIT professor will clarify any doubt, right? Or even in Udemy, you post the query, they may answer, they may not answer, right? Nobody is going to handhold you and then take you through that particular journey. So this is where we identified there is a problem. Just to put it diagrammatically, if you see here, your life in Udemy is like this. Okay, the person carrying so much of content, right? Videos after video, videos after video. So what they do, they push content to you. They said, itna video hai, itna material hai, download karo, ye karo, right? It's you are end of the day as a user, as a learner, you are overwhelmed. How do I learn so much of content? And there is no motivation to learn. Nobody is there to support me. And naturally, you buy and then you don't. Probably you listen to first 10 lectures or 20 lectures. After that, you give up. Right? This is one reason. But what we tell is the picture here. Of course, content is there. Content is there in every course. What we say, one part which I already clarified, ours is a live content. Of course, we do record as an additional benefit. We do that. Ours is live content. But more importantly, it is about the hand holding and the support what we give for you to learn. Let me give you an example. Suppose I explain, let us say, a for loop to you. Okay. Say I come in a class and then I show a video, explain, guys, this is how the for loop works. And then here are the 4 assignments. You need to do it on your own. When you're doing on your own, you have multiple problems. One, what problem? I want to understand my assignment problem. Second, when I'm doing my assignment problem, I may get stuck. I may need live doubt clearing. Even if I clear my doubt, when I finally come up with an output, I want a feedback. Have I done the real code? Have I taken care of my error condition? Have I taken care of variable naming conventions properly? Is my program handling all the extreme input conditions, output conditions, etc. Right? So that's where our courses in Immersi, of course, the classes are there, which we call as an immersive delivery model. So which starts with the first step, which is nothing but a live virtual classes, right? What you are doing now is a live session, which is nothing but a concept explainer. Suppose like I am explaining a concept of induction here. So there they'll be explaining any technical concept, followed by code along. Code along means the mentor will show you code. Let's say for loop, they'll show you code in the screen. Then you need to type. It's like basically you are mimicking the mentor, or you are just repeating whatever the mentor is telling. That's what happens in your classroom. And this is what is going to happen in your 2 hours of classes for the evening batch, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every day. You will be having 2 hours of session. This is nothing but a live virtual classes. Okay, does the story end here? No, this is only part of the story. After that, what happens? Every day from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. or 6 p.m. to 6:45 p.m., you will have all the days for evening batch people, all the days you will have an assignment or a project explainer session. Suppose a for loop is explained, they will say these are all the assignments in for loop and this is how you need to do. The mentor will explain these are all the assignments, 4 assignments are there, this is what you are supposed to do, and this is the timeline. That's where you do the estimation. But let's say for example today is Tuesday, you submit this output by, let us say, Saturday, so they give you an estimation timeline. So you got the concept in number one, you got your own assignment problem to solve, what problem to solve, what is the expectation in level 2, then you go ahead and start solving. That's where you have doubts, right? I'm getting half the output, I got stuck here, or I forgot what my original assignment was. Can you re-explain me once again? Because here also you're asking me, right? Even though I'm telling, many of you are telling, sir, I forgot, can you tell the answer once again? It's natural, right? Somebody might not have registered. So, and then that can be both 1:1 or 1:2 approach. So that's where the live doubt clearing happens. So our entire doubt clearing session, we have two options here. One is like we ask you to post the questions in forums, forum, which is again part of the LMS, which you are there, which some of the students post, and majority of the students, they're all comfortable with the tool called WhatsApp. I guess already all of you are added to the WhatsApp group, right? In your group, in your batch. Can you just confirm? You are already part of the WhatsApp group. Am I correct, guys? Yeah, you're already part of it, right? So that will be the group which will stay with you for a long time, where you can ask the doubts and then you can get it clarified. Apart from that, you can post it in the forum also. Mentors will clarify. Okay, so that's how the support happens. And then what happens? You keep on working on the assignment. Then you go and submit, which is very important, where you want to get a feedback. Sir, how well I have done. Is my program is good? Is my project is making the expectations? And very important thing, we need to do a lot of doing a preps, which we discussed already, right? Even though you are doing all these things, we need to have the weekly test, we need to have the monthly test, we need to have the company specific preparation sessions, just to ensure that you are not missing out anything, right? Siddhant says no. Siddhant, just you should be getting email from your team with the WhatsApp link. In case if you're not getting by tomorrow, please get in touch with us. We'll help you and add you to the WhatsApp group. Okay. So this is about the doubt clearing. And finally, the last step is about the prep session, where we do the Disha. So this prep session is what the last one. This one is what we called as a Disha. Disha, it's a word, we kept it as a direction, where we do resume prep, interview prep, company specific prep. Okay, this is more of a prep. So we do. So typically our Saturdays, if you see, right, a lot of such time is given for our preparation activities on the by the way, it's a 6 days a week program. Saturdays are typically given for the Disha sessions. Disha means we do many activities there. Oops, sorry, my mouse is. Okay, so this is about how the course is going to get delivered. This is what we call as an intervention. Intervention means we're not only giving you content, we'll give you the assignments, we'll give you the support, we'll give you the feedback. And that's where, we say it's not only about, we are giving you the live classes. It's all about, ensuring that you guys produce the output. Okay, it's like we are like coaches, right? We are like cricket coaches. We are coaching you, but important thing is you perform. Yeah, a lot of controversy these days about coaches and cricket and cricket captain and all. No matter what happens, the team has to perform, right? Like that, when you go there, you need to perform in the interview. So that's where we'll be training you for. So this is what we call immersive delivery model, consisting of various, various aspects, right? So let me come back to the original slide. So this mode of delivery, hope you understand how different we are from Udemy or Coursera or many of the other portals, where it's not only about content. Content itself we differentiate because it's a live versus recorded. But more important, I would say, the assignments, hands-on sessions, and the doubt clearing sessions, evaluation, right? Yeah. Then moving on, sorry, oops. Just a minute, mouse is a little crazy. Okay. So the second question was about hardware, right? In when you're learning online, how do I get access to hardware? As I told you guys, we launched it online from April, May of 2020, right in the first wave of pandemic. And then we had a lot of options. We will also discuss like, can we, if you come to our center and learn our same course from our Bangalore based offline course, we give you the boards. Right? Typically, they come to a reception area, they check out the board, connect to the laptop, work on assignments, projects. While going back home, they give and go back. So that's the model we do. Right? So when you do online, how do we achieve the same? There is a huge question around that. Again, a lot of options were discussed. We thought, can we make you buy the board? Again, that adds up cost, because we teach two boards. One is like a microcontroller board, another is ARM-based board. If you make you buy, that adds another, what you call 10,000 rupees extra to your course fee. The second part is we thought, can we ship the board to your home? Then again, it will go through a lot of challenges where connecting, shipping, and then lockdown happens, shipping doesn't come on time, etc., etc. So finally, our mentors have arrived at something called as simulator. So what I mean, like, for both this thing, right? We use something called as a simulator. So when you say simulator, the simulator will exactly mimic or exactly behave the hardware which you will connect to the board and work, right? So in terms of your learning effectiveness, in terms of your practical exposure, in terms of what you will be able to do in the real hardware versus simulator, there is no difference. So you don't need to worry about by learning simulator, am I going to learn something less, right? Okay. So absolutely no difference on the learning. So let me just quickly show you our couple of simulators. So what we do, let me go out. So if you just go to Google, this is like a PicSim lab. It's one simulator which we use for our microcontroller module. You can see here. By the way, this is all open source. There's no need to worry about license. It's all free. They all created to benefit the learners and students. You can see here one example. You can see here, this is like a simulator of a board. So in this board, you can very well do all the experiments, assignments, projects, what you do it in a regular board. If you come to our regular course, as I already told you, to our Bangalore office, Fido Labs, Fido Labs CAN board. So typically, this is the board that we make our students. This is what we keep in our inventory. Students will take this board. They will work on it. And this is the board. You can see, right? The simulator kind of exactly simulates the same various peripherals, be it like CLCD or LEDs, various switches, 7-segment displays, etc. Right? So let me just show you one more thing, because we also do a short-term free internship program where our students have put a lot of videos about our project. So let me take one of them. It's a presentation, what they do. Let me just go to the end. Yeah, so you can see here, this is a way you download the code into the simulator. You can see, right? This is a file. So you can see the board, right? How it works. This how exactly you are downloading into hardware. In the similar way, the simulator will work. And as I told, in terms of your learning, there is no difference. You can very well download and try, control various peripherals, perform various functionalities, etc. Watch out for this video. If you want just such immersive internship, you can see, you can rotate the fan, you can start, stop. There is a LCD where the various text is getting displayed. You can select various inputs by selecting various switches, modes, etc. Right? The buzzer will go up, go down. It's almost all of them, right? So this is how our simulation works. Okay. In the similar lines, as I told you, one more other module which we teach is like for embedded Linux, the other module. We have this BeagleBone blackboard where we ask students to buy this board. This is like an ARM-based board where you download Linux and run. This is again available if you come to our center. But instead of this, what we are doing for our online students is like we use another thing called as a QEMU simulator. Or else a QEMU. So this is a simulator which will simulate a target instruction set. Suppose you want to simulate a ARM instruction set. you can very well do it in your PC itself. You can see here, you may not be able to make out much, don't worry, later you will come to know detail. You can see here, this is an x86 machine. You can see here it's an Intel x86, but you are simulating a ARM based instruction set. Okay, this is how the Chemo simulator works. So in summary, I'm telling you, the Chemo simulator and the PICSIM lab will help you to simulate the hardware. So that way you'll not have any learning issues with respect to learning. But later, the same code, same program will go and work in the hardware also. But if you're really particular, no sir, I really want to learn from hardware, no worries. These links are publicly available, or even if you forget now, later ask their mentors. These are all available in online, Amazon, BeagleBone, you can order. Rido Labs, there's a website, you can, it's, I think they're based out of Cochin, they can ship you to your home, no problem. You want to buy, try it on your own, no problem, okay, no issues. I think we discussed about this, how the course delivery works, then how the immersive delivery model works. So moving on, let us talk about modules, right? This is how the modules will progress. Give me a minute. So here, when you talk about this course, right, we are divided into multiple levels. In level 1, we have 3 modules. You start with Linux systems. If you see Linux, you learn it at 3 levels in our course. The first one, what you call Linux systems, which you can say level 1 course, let us say level 1 of Linux, where you come to know commands of Linux, how to use Linux as a user, how to set up and install. In fact, your installation class will be the first class, okay, where you go through the fundamentals and everything will start from scratch, which I already clarified. You don't need to worry. Then you move on to the programming part, which will consist of C and C++ programming, where it will be covered in depth. I would say our major focus is on C programming, where we'll really ensure you learn and program on your own. In fact, in the beginning, I told about in college, you learn programs, you don't learn programming. So we ensure that you really learn programming very well, right? So that's what happens in level 1. So once you are done with this particular level 1, these modules, then you can start applying for placements. Once you are done, you can start applying. Here itself, you can, I told in the timeline, right? You can start applying. So this happens after 3 months of you joining the course. Okay. Then subsequently move on to the level 2 courses, where you learn Linux internals and TCP/IP networking, which is again a level 2 of course of Linux, where you take your Linux learning to the next level. You learn about multitasking, you learn about socket programming, you learn about inter-process communication, multi-threading, etc. And your programming goes all together to the next level by learning data structures. Data structures, some of you might have studied in your college theoretically. Here you run hands-on code. For example, by the end of the C program, I would say confidently, if you're attending all our classes, right, by doing the C programming, you should be able to comfortably write, I would say, 500 lines of code on your own. That's what our C programming does. By the time you complete your data structures, I would say easily you should be able to write 1,000 lines of code on your own. Lines of code. So that's a capability you'll be building. Of course, you can also go and build 2,000 lines of code. Some students build, no problem. So that's the level, because people have a lot of challenge about programming, right? Sir, I'm new to programming. I'm not confident of programming. Just follow whatever the mentor's telling, the immersive model which I explained. You will only come to us and later say, sir, when you explain in induction, I thought, it's a dream, or I'm telling some stories, but really you will see it happening as long as you follow mentors, right? Okay. So that's about second thing. And microcontrollers, as I told, in terms of simulators, you will be using PICSIM lab and learn about programming the microcontroller, understanding the data sheets, interfacing various peripherals, etc. Okay. Moving on, you learn again Linux at level 3 at an embedded Linux, where you compile the Linux kernel, run it in a target hardware platform. In our case, it is an example of Chemo we'll be running. Okay. And then anyways, the other part, the Disha workshops, NSDC and placement ready. Placement ready, we put it in the end, but generally, people start applying after level 1. I also showed some example of applications, web applications. So, and everything in immersive will go through an evaluation, including attendance, assignments, what we just mentioned, projects, weekly test, and then you have module test, right? And then you also will be given a progress report. Okay. So this progress report, according to me, is a very important aspect, guys, because this will give you a very clear-cut picture of where you stand. It's not like in a college where you study one exam and you get marks. Here, it's a holistic evaluation system where we consider all the parameters and give you the particular score. And this matters. For example, some of you ask, right? Like, sir, I'm from an older batch. Will I get an opportunity? Suppose, let us say, for example, companies, let us say one company comes and asks, I want to pick only your, you send me only top 10 students of your course, right? So we pick you based on this, right? So more than your academia, whatever the year of passage if you come from, but if you do well in your course, for example, Anjana, I told, right? She came after 7 years of career break. She was in a green zone. Okay? That means she was regular. She was doing all the assignments. That's how she's able to get a career break. If you're not attending the labs and you try to expect the magic to happen, it will not happen, which I already clarified. So please ensure that you follow that. And even if you get low marks, let's say in first module you came to red zone, improve. Next module you try to do better. That's how you keep building your skills. And Disha, we discussed, briefly mentioned, we do various set of activities. It happens along with your technical track, apart from the timeline, whatever is there, right? 2 hours of daily classes, 1 hour of explainer, and 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. the online chat session available. That's we come in, but even late night, other evenings, people ask questions, we clarify. We don't say, oh, our time is over. Our mentors clear doubts all the time. That way, you keep using it. But this is apart from that, where we do the placement monthly meetings, resume preparation workshops, mock interviews, which will be happening apart from the timelines, whatever you're mentioning, so that you are getting ready. And even if you have other requirements, like for example, I want to do higher studies, many of you expressed, right? I want an LOR, I want some kind of a career building tips. Or you connect to some of our alumni whom we showed. I want to talk to Sibi, or I want to talk to Tarun, right? Can we connect? Yes, why not, right? Helping each other is nothing wrong. So we are all up. We are all really, really motivated to help you guys to achieve your dream. And other thing part which I explain is I need your cooperation, without which it will not happen, right? So now we again back to placement. So this section was about technical, how the course, how your day-to-day routine will look in Mercy. Then how your doubt clearing will happen. Then how your what do you call the assessment will happen, lab support will happen, hardware, marks, progress report, etc. Okay. So I'll pause here before we move on to next section. Are you clear how the course is going to get delivered, the technical aspects of it? Do you have any questions? Is it clear? Can I get some responses? Okay, clear, sir. Clear, sir. Pallavi is saying, sir, in case if you, sorry, I think it's running. Pallavi is typing. Let me pick up Pallavi's question. So in case we wish to come to the institute for any of the semiconductor classes, is it permitted for online students? We don't mind, Pallavi. We don't come. When you come to our institute, we will not say don't come. Okay, but I need to check this aspect because in our hardware-oriented classes, right? Here also there will be some batches which will be running in the institute, and the topic which are covered in your online and topic which is happening online, I'm not sure it will be in sync because we start multiple batches. We'll be running multiple topics. We will be running. But let us say if a question is about, sir, only let us say microcontroller and embedded Linux, right? Can I come and do only these two modules come to center and learn? I don't see there is a problem, but we need to work it out. We need to talk to our admission team because there's a slightly different planning that goes with the offline, because offline means we need to ensure you have the place to sit, etc. Right? Online is not a problem. We can easily accommodate, right? But online we need to do that. But if you are really keen on that, we can help you. We don't see any problem. Some module you want to come to institute and learn, we can do that. No problem. We want to really buy the hardware and do that. We are supportive of that. So will there be a Disha workshop within the first 3 months? As I told Munir, Disha again is a various set of activities we do. Every month, as I told, we do placement meeting. That itself is a Disha. As I told, 27th I'm doing for this month session. And then I'm not sure about other technical sessions, how they come. Yes, there will be some in the first 3 months itself. Okay. Various type of them. Okay. The resume preparation workshop, which I do once in 3 months, once in 2 months, because that's a little more intensive thing. which I do once in 3 months. So Arjun says, sir, if you can join late in the class due to office, will it affect attendance? Yes, it will affect. But I think you guys are mature people. We don't want to treat like kindergarten kids, right? So please take it mature manner. We understand, but try to minimize that. You don't tell it as a. So you come to this particular course with a goal in your mind, and when you want to achieve your goal, definitely there will be challenges. And if it is so easy, everybody will be doing, no, right? So you need to sacrifice few things. Starts with today's dinner, and I'm happy that many of you said I'll do that for next coming few months, right? Okay. So please ensure it is minimal. Don't make it as a routine, I would say actually. Okay. Are there any system requirements, sir? Says Kondality. Yes, any decent system should be good enough, because your first session, which I'll announce by the end of the session, is about installation only, where our lab instructor and system administrator, Mr. Christy, will come. He will teach you how to install Linux. That's the first class. Before even the mentors come in, our system admin will teach you how to install Linux. So any decent i3, i5 type of a laptop should be good enough. You don't need anything specific, I would say. Okay. So Krishna Kumar is asking, so I have a query regarding operating system. As of now, I'm using Windows 10. I'm a working professional, so I have to install those tools with Windows 10. So what to do for Linux? So Krishna Kumar, with respect to Linux, we give two options, right? One option is you install a VMware, or what you call a virtual box, where you can, that can be part of your Windows itself, and inside Windows you can run the Linux. So that should take care, and so that you don't disturb your Windows, because sometimes you wanted to install Linux and your Windows also goes up, right? And you being a working professional, you will have your own sensitive information in your Windows. So your thing can be done along with the Windows itself, no problem. No, our Christy will take care. But some of them will say, sir, no, sir, I wanted to completely get rid of Windows. I wanted to install Linux. Okay, that also is possible. Okay, we give both the options. Please discuss with this Christy. Christy will help you further. Okay. Then Munir is telling, I talked to the management and shifted my working times. Before it was 6 p.m. I requested going to early to office now. You can try that urgently. Yes, make some adjustment, accommodate that. It's not easy, right? Okay. It's another analogy I tell people, right? If you ask somebody, right, you'll say, okay, sir, I want Switzerland climate, American salary, Chinese food, Indian wife, right? All combination does not work out, right? If you want to get something, right, you need to compromise on something. Okay. How you need to compromise, it's up to you. Okay. Then Amal is asking, when will the lab session starting, right? Ajmal is asking, yeah, practical classes start at 6, not immediately, because from tomorrow when you resume your classes, right, initially for a few days only the theory session will be there, or the installation session will be there tomorrow. But after that, every day the practical session will be started. Okay. Prathamesh is telling, sir, my job also ends at 6:30. You need to manage that, Prathamesh. Okay. Half an hour here and there, and then get it started. Okay. Is it clear, guys? Can I move on to the placement? Anyways, placement larger portion we discussed, the company trends of the job market. In fact, that's the first piece we discussed. Second, we covered about the technical part, classes, delivery, hardware, assessments, etc. Now we again go and see placement from the process point of view, right? Can I move on to the last section? Are you there with me? It's 9:43. No problem. Okay. Okay. So let me move on to the placement section now. All right. So placement, which I already showed you, once you are part of our course, within few days, our team will be adding you into this into the Google group, okay, which I already shown. That Google group will be your primary source of information, right? So some of you would have observed our website, some of you would have observed our social media channels, and to see what is the information that we put with respect to placements. That I would say, between the Google group and when you publish in Instagram, let us say, there is always a delay, because the placement need to drive over, then the placement team tell to our business team, then only they need to put, right? But your Google group will be like a live channel. So it is shown you some time back. Everything will be happening in a real-time basis, right? So you'll get notification. I walked you through some of the placement opportunities. And as you saw in the end of the application, let me quickly switch my window. You see, let me go to Gmail. So if you see into the continent itself, so everything is given, and below there will be a cutoff time, right, when you need to apply. For example, for continental, Thursday is a timeline, and 9 a.m. is a cutoff time. So there's a link given here. You can just click here. It will be a simple Google form where some information will be asked for about you. So say, okay, you can see all the information, terms and conditions, upload your resume, your information, whatever the company is expecting you, specific information will be given here. Okay. Which module completed, any pending modules are there, right? Which will vary from company to company. Our placement team will take care of this in the backend, and you need to apply. Okay. So once you apply this particular, for this particular placement opportunity, that is nothing but step number 2. It will reach our placement team, and our placement team will do internal shortlisting. In spite of telling all these things, some students will, without the eligibility itself, they'll apply, and they will not have completed the module, they'll apply, as I already told, right? So we need to filter that, and then once we are done with that, we'll share it with the recruiting companies or the placement companies, right? Then the companies will again do shortlisting. Sometimes they allow all of them, sometimes they will allow some criteria further. One of the very important factor which I mentioned is how you perform in your course. Then they will be notified with the who and all got shortlisted, right? You can saw some more mails in those lines, not only the new emails, right? You can see here. Let us say HCL Technologies, right? Today, online interview schedule. So it will tell who and all got shortlisted for HCL. Right? Okay, this is the, you apply, then you get shortlisting will come, and these students, right? Let us say Abhishek is there, Afreen is there, right? They will get a separate mail apart from that about when is your interview, right? If you're shortlisted, this is one mail you can check to check whether it is whether you're shortlisted or not. What next? Our team will send an immediate mail saying that when is your interview, because interviews will be happening in different times. Companies will use various tools. Some will use GoToMeeting, some may use Skype, some may use Google, whatever. That various tools are there, right? So they will use. So we'll notify that, and if it is a written test, we'll notify, right? So you go through that, and then the offer release happens, which I mentioned. There'll be some time where you'll be selected, and selected people again will be published in the group, and then once you're selected, our team again will get in touch with you. Any document that is required for you to submit, will help you to do that, or share any companies requesting any information, we'll collect and send it to you. And we'll be there with you. Basically, our placement team will be there with you until you go and join in the first day. Okay? And here there are two cases possible. One is like you get placed before your course gets over. That can happen for you. That can happen for even our offline student. That can happen even for our online student who are attending the class on a regular timing, right? So anytime if you're getting placed, as I told, you need to join immediately, except the notice period aspects, which I already discussed. So once you join, there will be some pending modules, assuming, right? You can come and join the evening classes and then continue. You just need to let us know, I got placed and I finished these modules, and these modules are pending. Our team will support you to tell, okay, fine, I'll join this particular batch, right? We know which multiple batches are running, what modules are happening, etc. We'll help you to rejoin and then continue with your courses. You will not have a problem because you're already in the evening batch. But other students, if they get placed, you can continue and then go for the certification. Okay, that way, we don't want to stop your learning. From a course point of view, we wanted to ensure you take the maximum modules. In fact, companies also insisting. When we were in meeting with Honeywell, we said, okay, fine, we can take them, and please ensure. And they're also asking progress report. Okay, did the student, even after selection, did they complete all the pending modules? And then they want to give a confirmation, because they also want to ensure you learn the complete skill set, right? So that's how the process works. Coming to placement eligibility, I think during our counseling or initial conversation, right? Our counselors would have told you about this particular thing, right? You need to go through a placement eligibility test. Okay, and we also initially thought by the end of C program we will keep a test, minimum you need to score 40%, etc. We are not doing that. That is a little dirty secret. We're not keeping any placement eligibility test. As long as you complete your C module and then do at least 1 or 2 projects, you can start applying. Okay, we're not strictly following that, even though we have it on papers, right? Yeah. Similarly, one other challenge what we have is we expect people to have minimum 60%. That is also not very positive. Only thing is we will not be able to commit. But if you look at some of the companies where I shown you no ERA password, no percentage, you can apply for those companies also. Rather, I would say you focus on the assignment completion, which will basically improve your not only a shortlisting, later point in time selection also. The more assignments and project you do, the better it is for your selection. So coming to job roles, right? Our companies which are coming and hiring, I think we discussed initially about it. They come from all the verticals. You can see like a vertical and horizontals, be it aeronautical, automotive, consumer electronics, telecom, IoT. I told about electric vehicles, automation and control, right? So various kind of companies they come. And they come and hire various horizontals. Like for example, they either hire for a developer role, they're for a testing role, or any tuning, application development in embedded systems, OS bring up, right? So it's something like a vertical and horizontal. You will be, for example, even if they hire 2 students, let us say through Immersi, let us say an IoT company, one may work on the tuning side, one may work on the application side because they may have 2 teams. One may go to development, one may go to testing, right? So all these things depends on the company's rules. We don't force them. Okay, as I told you initially itself, whether it is a premium company salary or they're specific that I want to get into an IoT or I want to get into robotics, it is good to have, but don't target initially. Anyways, all the companies, 100% hiring companies are core companies. Start your career in core. Maybe after 3 to 4 years, you can obtain specialization and then target one. Let us say later point in time, we can say I want to be an expert in automotive, doing an application development, right? Or you can say I'm an IoT, I want to focus on device drivers. So like that, the vertical and horizontal combination, you can decide on it later. Okay. Yeah, some important points which I already discussed. Placement will start after your level 1 modules, right? Regular attendance and follow our instruction, which is I've been talking from the beginning, irrespective of all the challenges what you shared with me. Preparing aptitude, basic electronics, final year project, it is your responsibility. Okay. And vertical horizontal roles will vary between companies or even within teams. Okay, we will not be able to demand anything with companies in this regard. You don't come and tell me, sir, I want to only development in IoT, right? We will not be able to. Okay, we'll try to get as much information as possible, but beyond that, we don't have a control. It purely depends on the hiring organization. Okay. Now, one very important slide. I request all of you, please pay attention about this particular slide. It is called as placement blacklisting. Okay. Let me take some water. So when you're applying for placements, there are 4 things which is mentioned in the slide, which you should not be doing. As I told you initially, 70% of the companies are repeat recruiters. They come on again and again and hire our students, which means to say we have a lot of trust built with these companies. But if you as a university student do any of these activities, will break that trust and it will not going to affect you. For you, you may come and go, right? We have been doing this for 18 years and we need to take care of all the students, right? For example, because you doing some mistake, if the company stops coming to university, it is huge loss for us, huge loss for many other students. So what are those 4 conditions? Let me explain, which I already some points we discussed. One is like all the company specific package, terms, conditions, everything is explained in the application. Okay, whether you can reapply, everything is I already showed. Please go through. Okay. If you have concern that I'm not okay with this, I'm not okay with certain factor, don't apply. There is no force on any student to apply to, we not come and force apply for this company or don't apply for this company. It is completely up to you. But once you apply, once you go through the written test and then interviews, you get selected, you cannot reject the offer. And even if you attend 3 interviews on the same day, whichever offer comes first, you need to accept it. I already explained the reason. Okay. In case you reject the offer, student will say, sir, my father is telling salary is less, or my uncle is telling don't go to these companies. It will not be acceptable. Okay. One. Second thing, any written tests or interview which is being scheduled with the companies, or even for that matter, our mock interviews in Disha, our mentors will be doing, these type of interview preparation sessions, or they'll be scheduling mock interviews, right? You are not supposed to be absent. You need to attend that. Yes, on the day of mock interview or on the day of real interview or written test, you might fall sick, especially given circumstances. There was a ad or a memes floating around in social media, where last week, right, how India was swallowing the what do you call, the Dolo 650, how Rajinikanth, right, he just does it in that Shivaji movie, right? So people fall sick, especially given pandemic condition, right? So all our request is you need to inform us at least 24 hours before, be it a mock interview with our mentors or the external interviews, so that we can tell the company, also for the mentor, saying that, hey, this student is sick, right? Which is 1 or 2 students, happens rarely. So that companies also understand that, okay, no problem. But if you don't tell us, and if you're not coming to the interview posted by a company, written test by the company, or you wanted to take the test, that time your network goes off, right? You have to inform us. Okay. And other important thing which has happened, one recent case, right? When you come and tell, because initially when I asked, you told about your background, you told about your era password, your previous experience, your qualification and all, right? I have 100% trust. Means when I say I, right, to take me as a person, Emergy as an organization has got 100% trust on each and every student, right? And we don't come and do any policing about, whether you really passed out. When you say I'm working in this particular company, do you really working, right? Okay, we don't have any issue with that. Okay, we completely trust you. But when you go and get selected in a company, they will ask you to produce some documents. For example, some of you may be having supplementaries, right? We tell clear the supplementary and apply, but some of them don't listen. With the supplementary itself, they'll apply, and every day from the placement team, I cannot check every data sent by every company. You saw, right, how the mails are coming every day. 10 to 1 mails are coming. My placement team is too busy to working with clients and scheduling, right? Okay. And similarly, people who have got work experience, right? When you say I have 2 years of work experience, you need to produce the experience certificate, right? So when you go and get selected, when the document verification is done, and we feel that there is a issue reported by the company saying that you have a supplementary, or you not completed your previous work experience properly, and or they found that your document which is produced is a fake, right? It is not acceptable. Okay. So let me repeat 4 conditions. 1, you cannot reject the offer. 2, you cannot bunk any interview or written test with the company, or any interview preparation or mock interview with our mentors. 4th one, all the data that we are submitting, we need to basically accurate with it. Now, we cannot verify, companies will verify. But in case any of you, some of them will get into this trap. It may be like, 1% of you or 0.5% of them will get into this trap. You will be blacklisted. So once you're blacklisted, we will not be allowing you to attend further placement, and we are very strict about it. Okay? As much as we are considerate, like how you've been sitting and talking, explaining all your questions, our mentors also will be very patient with you. Our placement team also very much team also very patient with you. They'll do all the support to our best of our abilities to support you. But this is something which is not acceptable, because anything that you do here, it affects the trust of the company with Immersive, and that is very costly mistake, right? We don't allow it to happen. And 2 weeks back, one student, he came with his father. He was an online student, but he still came, wanted to meet our placement manager, and he wanted to meet me and try to tell some excuses. We will not take it. No, you can continue your course. Course rate will not stop you. You can do the lab, do the classes, no issues. But placement will not be given, and we are very strict about it. That time you will come and meet me. I will not be talking to you like that. My vocabulary, my tone itself will be a very different tone. So I want all of you to act maturely. Do not get into this trap. Okay. There are a couple of questions from Vinay and Robin. Just give me a few minutes, guys. I'll cover placements and then I'll come and take these queries. Okay. All right. Let me do a quiz and then I'll come to Vinay and Robin's questions. Let me ask whether you understood properly. Till how long I'll get placement opportunities through Emergy? What is the answer? 26 months, right? 24 months, 2 years, and 2 months, whatever, during the 2 years. Yeah, 2 years from the time of completion. Yeah, that's a right answer. Can I choose between 2 job offers? No, right? I already clarified why. It's in the interest of the student, in the interest of the company, right? It's a fair system that we have. Should I apply to all the companies? So many applications are coming. I'm eligible. Should I apply to all the companies? Puneet says yes. Okay. Yes, you can. But I would leave the choice up to you. If you are not applying for some company, that's fine. We are not going to force you. If you're eligible, if you like, something is not okay. For example, some company tells like you need to relocate and work in a different place, right? You're not okay with it. Don't apply. Okay. What type of companies are hiring? These are the MNCs, mid-size startups. They showed the group, and once you're part of the group, you'll get all the more information. And what is the difference between internal company shortlisting? I clarified that. How can I get more shortlisting? I would like to know your answer. I want more shortlisting, sir. I apply. Application is not a problem, but I want more shortlisting. How can I get? What's your answer? Study well. Very nice, right? Study well. Be regular. Yeah, better performance during the course. That's your only weapon, right? Our weapon is skill, right? With that weapon only we can win the war, right? Or win the challenges. Prepare well, performance. All of you telling, right? Mahibu, Vinayak, Fabia, Manjunatha. Very happy that you understood that. Yeah, be good in assignments. Or even if you wanted to ask me to make it more simple, just follow what mentors are telling in a very simple way, right? Then everything will happen automatically. Yeah, Jayashree is telling performance. Jyoti is telling. So, Jayashree, the monkey in your head should not be 2012. Your monkey in your head should be assignment completion. Hope you're getting right. Don't, anyway, that's there. Keep it aside. All of you, older batch, this, that, right? Keep it aside. You take care of this. The success will follow you. Okay. There are a couple of questions. Let me take. Again, this went up. Yeah. There's a question from Vinay. So if you are facing engineering exams for more than 15 days, how we can do? Is there any solution for that? Okay. So if it is more than 15 days, try to talk to our student support or student support person. If it is hard to manage, try to manage. Anyways, recorded video will be given. And then continue with the same batch, copy it up. And then if any other batch is happening where the same topic can attend once again and then pick up the topics, we don't have any problem. Okay. Sometimes this even happens to students. They come and tell, sir, I attended C programming, but I missed few. I did not get it well. Right? They may be doing microcontroller, but they said, sir, I was not regular for C. Can I do C programming once again? Right? We don't have any problem, and you don't need to pay any extra money or something like that. So get in touch with our student support. They will suggest you if you wanted to again. Even going through the recorded video is not helping. You wanted to join another batch along with your regular thing to cover up those 15 days, you can try that. Okay. No problem. So Robin Singh is asking, sir, as I'm 2022 pass out batch, from which month can I apply for job? Right. So finish your exams, Robin, and then you will be getting your whatever your course completion or PDC we used to call in my colleges, provisional degree certificate. Once you complete all the papers, right, you will get a PDC. Once the day you get your PDC in your hand, start applying. That may come for some universities, that may come some months, some universities may get delayed, and that's fully up to the college and university. If you have got, let us say today night you got, tomorrow morning onwards you can start applying. Okay. Hope Robin and Vinay, your question got answered because they are all students who are studying the engineering, right? Okay. All right. So I think we are moving to the last couple of slides. Okay, we'll just close it. NSDC certification, as you all know, I'll just quickly run through. We are a partner with Electronic Sector Scale Council of India, where after the course completion we give 2 types of certificates. One certificate is what From emergency side, we'll give you. Anytime you can apply for it. I'll tell you how to do that. Okay. But apart from that, by the end of the course, once you finish all the modules, you can go through an assessment with NSDC under the Electronic Skills Sector Council of India. Let me just show you. And go for this, especially folks who wanted to apply for higher studies apart from our what you call LORs and other things. You better go for this Skill India certification because it is internationally renowned. Okay. We have not been able to do it for a while now because there has been some logistical issues with them, but we want to start it. Okay, there is one more Sahiti here, right? So you can see here, this is a type of certificate you'll get it from Government of India. Once you clear it, don't worry about this exam. All the students will clear. If you do our practical sessions well, clearing these exams is not at all an issue. We have 100% pass rate here. So this certificate you will get by the end of the course. And then we'll put our institute name and seal on top of it. And this anyways QR code connected, you can verify and things like that. Okay. So this is one thing, especially folks who asked about higher studies. I would strongly recommend you go with this kind of certification. Emergency certificate we can give anytime. Okay. Okay. So last one, do's and don'ts, which we discussed already. Be regular with your classes. Follow the instructions, whatever mentors are telling. Appreciate it is a system driven. And I would say for online students, extra care should be given in terms of communication. Okay, because you are not coming and seeing us physically, but that does not mean that you cannot communicate. You're already part of the WhatsApp group. You'll be part of Google group. And in the next slide, I'll share your support lines. You can discuss, seek help, and then take feedback and be ready in case you find difficulty, right? Some mentors, whatever they're explaining, I'm not understanding. You're most welcome to give the feedback, and then we'll be able to accommodate that. We're not telling we're perfect. We're also open to feedback. We'll be reaching out to you time to time to get your feedback and things like that, right? So continuously improve. You're not going to, all of you are not going to learn in the same pace. Some will learn fast, some will learn slow, but continuously improve. Learn from your peers, classmates. That's very important. That's why I ask you to spend a lot of time introducing each other, where you come from and things like that. And there's a good possibility that you may work in the same company. So help each other. You attended an interview, you come and share with the other student, right? Or you learn something you want to explain to others. These days you're all well connected. Have a Google session among yourself, explain, right? Why not? So again, teaching is the best way to learn for the person who is teaching also. He's also going to benefit. Okay, by giving knowledge, it's not going to reduce it. Only his understanding also improves, right? Don'ts, missing classes, that's not at all acceptable. And then don't assume things. Suppose some rumors somewhere floating around, this batch people did not get placements, or that student did not get placement and all. Don't go by that. We are myself, our entire team is available. Any type of doubts, clarifications, any rumors, we want to rule it out with real data points. Okay, we don't go with any statements people make. We go with data points, and then we can clarify you. And then do not get any personal attacks or unhealthy arguments. If something is not working out, you can clarify with us. We can professionally clarify you. Okay? And then we all encourage and then move forward. Okay? So these are general do's and don'ts. These are all the action items. These are your support levels, lab and class, etc. We'll be sending you the invitation, or you'll be automatically added to the Google group. Once you are part of it, you'll get all the announcements as a part of it. And our mentors will be giving you the LMS login, where you can log in and access all the recorded videos, test, everything will be happening through that. And laptops, as we already told, your first session will be the installation session, where you can attend it, and then you can start the installation as your first task. Okay. This is very important slide. I request all of you, please take a screenshot of this. This is super important slide, especially for remote students. We have 3 support lines available. The first support line, you are already aware. You would have been speaking with Ms. Asma or Ajay in terms of your fee payment, etc. That's the email ID of Asma, and then our phone number is there. The first 6 numbers are common across all the teams, but last 4 numbers vary. Anything related to your fees, receipts, installment queries, your scholarship discounts, etc., etc. So please talk with Asma. Okay. Which you had already done it, I believe, but later also you can go back to her. anything about classes, once you start attending about classes, your labs, as I told, 15 days I'm having an exam, or some of the students will have LOR requests coming, I'm applying for foreign universities, or some of them will say, some of them even come up with some specific requests. Let's say my father want to claim an income tax benefit, etc. Right? Documents to be given. We are very much open. No issues. We can give whatever the document you want, as long as that's fair. So please reach out to Netra about it. Her phone number is also there. And very important, once you start applying for placements, Mr. Lokesh is your placement manager. Placements at Simmersi, and then his phone numbers are given about shortlisting, selection. They will also talk to you. It's not that you need to talk. It's become very normal, regular for us to communicate with students, especially during the placement time. They'll keep doing that. I request you also do it. And then, please store all the numbers, all the email IDs. Take a screenshot. Later, you can store it in your phone. They're available in emails, WhatsApp, whatever, the SMS, right? They're available. They're supporting, they're responding. All the emails do get responded. All the WhatsApp messages do get responded. Absolutely no issue about it. They're very much committed to your growth. Only thing is that you need to be committed, right? And start following what mentors are telling. Again, this is our coordinates. We are in Bangalore. We are in a place called MG Road, which is again a center of the city. Near the metro station, we are there. And with respect to social media, as I told, we are pretty active. Two channels we primarily work on. One is on LinkedIn and another is on Instagram. Because these days, students are more comfortable with Instagram. So please follow us in LinkedIn and Instagram. Anybody is already following? Can I get some responses? At least Instagram or LinkedIn? Can I get some responses? Are you already following? Vinay says yes. Mahiboob, Argya. Okay, great. I'm very happy. Okay, very good. Okay, cool. I'm following on both. As I told you, compared to the Google group, the information what you see in social media, it will be little delayed because information has to pass on. But going forward, we are also planning to make it more, at least Instagram, we are planning to make it more attractive by organizing quizzes, sharing some industry information, etc., to make it more not only about students, it's more about even after placements, right? You wanted to get some enriched information, interactive platform, etc. And people are interacting in a very nice way of late. Okay. So these two are the channels. So with that, I would like to pause here. Thank you very much. I know it's 10:15, 3 hours and 15 minutes. Just I'll go offline. Let me tell you what is your next class timings. Let me pick it up from our internal tool. Give me a second. I'm picking up your. Anyways, timings are fixed. We already discussed. My team left me some note. Let me just pick it up for you. See, it's Jan 25th. Let me copy. So that's a note. You can see in the chat window. So orientation session tomorrow, means that's today. They sent it yesterday. And Monday to Friday, you will have the class from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Only Saturday, it's kept between 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Lab timings 6 p.m. to 6:45 p.m. Monday to Friday. And then for the first module, that is Linux systems, you will be using the same link, whatever the link used today. Please use it and join from day after, because tomorrow is holiday, 26th January, right? I'm not audible. Guys, am I audible? Mahboob says I'm not audible. Okay, Mahboob. Audible. Okay, yeah, thanks. I think Mahboob, maybe some issue in your audio. You can check that. So please use the same link and join on day after tomorrow. you start with the installation class and then you will proceed further. Okay. You join at 7 p.m. Okay, on 27th. Okay. Then the people, some of you mentioned you did not get the WhatsApp. I already put the WhatsApp link there. You can join in that in case if you're not joined the WhatsApp. Okay. So that's it, guys. I hope this session has given you a complete perspective about course placements, what are the latest trends in placements, Emergency calendar. Emergency calendar will send you which are all the days holidays. Probably will ask you to send a PDF the holidays. Probably will email you. We'll email you in the group or we'll keep it in the LMS. Like when is the holiday? Tomorrow is holiday due to Republic Day. Day after onwards, you can start attending the classes. 7 p.m. Please dial in. Same link. You can dial in and you can start attending the sessions. Okay. So that's all, guys. Can I get some feedback? How did you find the session? I know it's like 3 hours, 15 minutes. It's very long, but hope you're able to get an idea, clarity about what you are stepping into, how to plan your career forward. I'm getting some responses. Ashwini is saying, thank you, sir. Pratisha is saying, thank you, sir. Arjun says, good session. Thank you. More helpful, interactive. Looking forward, says Pallavi. Very interactive, says Robin. Good session. Thank you, sir. Ajmal. Good session. Thank you. Awesome session, says Vikas. Thank you, Vikas. GRS says excellent. Thank you, GRS. Thank you. A lot of messages. Sorry, I'm not able to read. Great session, says Saurav. Then Akila says helpful. Mrinalini says thank you. Manjunatha is saying also thank you. I'm excited for the class, Shubham. Very good, Shubham. Please keep that excitement throughout the session. It's worthy and I cleared all my doubts by your good information. Thank you, says Puneet. Thank you, Puneet. Superb session, says Krishna Kumar. Great session, says Jyoti. Pallavi says thank you, sir. Good, sir. Good session. Got clarity about the challenges which we are in front of, how to deal with it. Very important, right? Good that you got it. Prathamesh says thank you, sir. Great session. Okay. So thank you very much, guys. Thanks for joining. Abhilash, informative session. Looking forward more down the road, sir. Good, valuable session, says Bhargav. Thank you, Abhilash, Bhargav. So take care. I think still the pandemic is around. Don't take it lightly. Follow all the safety precautions. Take care of yourself. Utilize this time. And anyways, I will be meeting you guys once in a month. I think as I showed you already, 27th I'm meeting this month, students. Looking forward meeting you, all of you, on a monthly basis. Mentors are there, class mentors, lab mentors, student support, admin, placement. Every 360-degree support system is available. Make the best use of it. And as I told you, I have not seen so many job opportunities so far. It's my 8th year in emergency, right? So please make use of it. I wish you all the best. Okay. So take care. Bye. This recorded session also will send you. Okay. We give a day or two. We will email you this recorded session. Okay. Take care. Bye.